Hey everyone, welcome back to more Rogue Legacy 2. So I'm just going to get a little, mentally prepared and stuff, and then I'm going to begin my talk that I've been wanting to do. In addition, I am just continuing, just running through the castle, gain runes, gain upgrades, just gain myself strong enough to actually do the rest of what I need to do. But, so that's on my mind, the themes they wanted to check. So we needed to, talk about skill crits, whether or not the game's easier or too easy, stuff like that. Do dex and focus feel valuable, that sort of stuff. Alright, so that's one. Then the XP change, I can't really analyze. It seems fine. I'm just gonna say it seems fine. Armor feels better, I did notice. But damage reduction we can't really do because armor, they glitched it, so armor doesn't work. So we are just basically with that. A lot of it, it's just the answer is yes. I don't really have an opinion beyond that. This doesn't work, so focus we can't judge, and the other one we can't judge either. So those two, I'm just leave it as is. I'm gonna let my thoughts stew for a bit, and then I'm going to, once I think thoughts are fully formed, I'm going to slip, give myself into a position so I can do this for a video on YouTube. Alright. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I have Cartographer, and the Cartographer glitch is happening right now. Good for me, but... Oh, that's why I chose this character, because they have Cartographer, so I can get all the... In other words, I should be heading to the Stygian Study, or somewhere where I can actually get fairy chests. So let's see what fairy... Makes you really wish you could get these without the dash heirloom. That would have been huge for a speed run. Alright, let's just check if there's... Alright, there's one fairy chest. And there it goes. So yeah, in case you haven't noticed, Cartographer is glitched, so we actually do see the map. So I'm just taking advantage of that to get to the fairy chest. Just right upright. Alright. Here we are. No getting points. Got it. I'm gonna kill that there. Oh, there was another one. Be safe, because if I get hit, GG's. There we go. Get my fairy chest. Whoa, even this blood doesn't help. Alright. Let's recharge a little in these rooms. I just want to check where's... Oh, it's what over there. You know what? Let's just head to the teleport over there, actually. Probably faster, probably safer. So yeah, if we're getting blood here, not as safe as I thought it would be, then we're kind of have to rely on the Sun Tower then. So I have to get my fairy chest from the Sun Tower to get that last relic we're missing. Fortunately, does not look like there's fairy chests here today. So we're going to Kirgorm Plateau and hoping the reason that happened is just that sometimes you get blood instead of heirlooms. There's the fairy chest. Alright. Just basically go right down, right down, right down. Got it. No need to fear. Villager Pawn is here. How's it going, Villager Pawn? we're just looking for some chests, and we're chilling until we get to... once I feel more comfortable with what I want to say, I'm going to start talking about my opinions on the patch. I just want to make sure what I want to say is precise enough, you know? So I'm going to be spewing a lot of words. I'd like them to actually make sense. Ooh. No dashing, don't get hit. That was a narrow gap. Unfortunate. Alright. There are 2 question marks over there. I'm going to go over there and see if I could, if not find an apple, possibly find a current skeleton key. Alright. Ooh, but how's it going, Crocodile? How have you been doing? Did you see that Taylor posted his video for our game? Pretty awesome. Alright. No notable question marks there. Guess we head back towards the entrance. So we didn't want steel-toed boots. Beautiful job on my part. Alright, so we have not many fairy chests in this time, so I'm just going to go back to the main room, and maybe we'll find some fairy chests here. So I'm right there. There's a fairy chest over by Lamech, and the books. Alright. Just keep it moving. And this time, not die. So yeah, it looks like we have to move back to New Game Plus 1 now. So our next goal is to find a character with enough gold gain that I can actually get good gold from killing the bosses. No, this character has 35 gold. Maybe this is a character with double gold gain, despite their looks. Got the skeleton key. That's exactly what I was looking for. I could go back to... We're gonna still go to that fairy chest. Ooh. Let's make sure it's fully red. Hit. Appreciate it, meat. Yep, did not expect to get much more than blood. Alright, let's go grab the next room. It's just up. Right down. Oh, also, let's just grab this question mark. Sure. Yeah, I think they just replaced these all with mini bosses, like every last one of them. Yeah, I can't even fight these guys because of like the delay in my attack. Or at least it's not easy to say that much. charging into them is actually a way to injure myself more than anything. So let's not do that anymore. Ooh. Ooh, just realized right above is another one of these fair rooms. We definitely want Freya's reward. We need healing right now, and gain it from every chest. Sounds like a good way to heal. Oop. Alright. Let's get that chest since we got the means to heal after from it. Yep. Whew. Alright. Alright. And down. Probably less damage, even though that was not the way I wanted to do it. So yeah, in case you guys are wondering, I just set it back to New Game Plus 0 to get myself into a position to get basically the heirloom, the relics I need. So yes, I am overpowered for where I should be right now, or where I am right now. That's okay. That's intentional. Alright. The fact is, I'm gaining 35 extra gold from Cartographer. It's not as much as I want. It's not vegan, but it's done. And I don't have to go hunt for it, so... You're doing well, okay, Sal. I'm not sure if it just took a while to realize I asked the question or if there's like lag. I don't. Anyways, I'm glad you're doing well, Kraken. Alright. There's still so much help. Oh, you were playing Pokemon Unite, so you couldn't. You're just like, hi, and then you just had to run because you were busy. Makes sense, makes sense. Alright. So now I'm going to Guel Plateau. Apparently, I already beat Nama with this. Alright. Glad I did. Oh, by the way, I do like to shout out my new followers as a thank you. For Gathering, I didn't see when they followed. They may have followed while I was not streaming, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. So, I do appreciate it. I guess they were probably watching some of my Magic Gathering videos by the way they spell For Gathering. So this one I failed, but now I have a skeleton key. Yeah. I wonder how it expects you to do that one. Just blood. Right now you're trying to figure out your encounters for next D&D session. Alright, good luck with that, man. I know that Xanathar's Guide has a basic encounter table that you could like probably adapt. So yeah, definitely like random encounters. One of the things that I do is if I don't want them to feel random, what I do is I roll that early, get a sense of what it suggests I use, and then I adapt what it suggests to be more for my world, more for that session. So it's still effectively random, it's just I'm much more prepared because I, roll it prior to the session sort of thing. And of course, they could adapt to it instead of me adapting to them. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna actually go into the Sun Tower, because there is a possibility that just isn't showing me that there's fairy chests, because they're in those special rooms. And I'm just not, you know, doesn't show the special rooms. It's mostly where the encounter will be. So I'm planning to make 3 encounters based on when and where the combat is. I have no clue where this next session will go, so I'm basing off of that. Love those. I will say one of the best sessions I've ever had was a session in the Dark Style campaign. I rolled the dice right then and there, got a roll that I was able to be very creative with, but like, I would not recommend it, it works sometimes. And I have 3 chaotic players, so it will be interesting. Yep. As in their characters are chaotic, or they themselves are chaotic? I have a feeling you mean the latter, but I just want to make sure. Like, the latter is probably hard to deal with, but... they are very experienced players. I mean, experience doesn't mean, like, how chaotic they're going to be. I've seen, like, I will tell you some of the best players I've had were players that it was their first time playing. That's specifically why I made sure T-Lord doesn't know too much of the rules, because I want him to still be a new player for longer. I want him to have that opportunity to do cool things without realizing how cool he is. Because once he knows, then he knows. Ooh, how's it going, Flying Ragey? We're just kind of chilling right now. It's the gunslinger propaganda machine. I'm not sure it's going to succeed in this area, but I'll appreciate hearing the information nonetheless. All right. Whew. Ooh. It's a fun group at the end of the day. Yeah. And if your statement about what you are is not false, then it's the correct. Like, I assume you wouldn't lie to me, so. Oh, this is just to a doorway below. I thought it was to doorway on the side. That was my mistake. Whew. On that note, I suggest Metroid Zero Mission as a short game. Game where the gun is pretty great. Yes, it is. I've played plenty of Metroid to know how good Samus's weapons are. Ooh. Well, we were just here for fairy chests, and it looks like we ain't making it that far. There's no fairy chests up here. We got all the fairy chests we can get leverage from. Gunslinger propaganda, then a game suggestion. Truly a cultured individual. Ooh, fireball plus panic attacks. I think this is it. Alright. I do want to get 1 point to see if there's anything extending. Huh. That's it for below. So strange that this is only 1% resolve. That just seems so insignificant to me. Camp room. You know what? Let's see, is that enough to get to my mite room? Yes, it is. So this is what I want mite room. I could have this on, and then so the mite rune should be applying. Yeah. So this mite rune. Yeah. Oh, this is increased with its crit strike damage. Never mind. Wrong rune. Wrong rune. That's why I was having the issue. Shearing rune is what I want. Okay. Bit more expensive. Bit more expensive. There we go. And now we have 10 left, which isn't enough to do anything, I don't think. Yep. Alright. Well, shearing rune is going to just lead to 2 more damage. Yep. Alright, so now we have a boss killer. Let's try it out. Alright. I know, it depends on if you consider games of like 10 hours short. Yeah. When I say short, I mean like 3. Like something that I might be able to finish in 1 session, maybe 2. Like, I don't, like, I want to be able to, beat the game before, I have to, like, I want something I could stream, and then the stream's over, and I'm done. You know? Like, Baba Is You, I thought it was going to be a short game, so I streamed that. I think, I'm okay with it being longer, of course. I need games that I can actually approach, and if I end up enjoying it, I don't have to, like, have issue slotting it in. It's just, it's small enough that I can, it's just slotted in already, you know? Alright, so we finished this one. Ooh. It's called speedrunning. Fair enough. Darn it. So I just opened the wrong door. I was supposed to open this one, and then I opened here, here. Yeah, I just did that a little wrong. Oh well. Oof. The fact is I'm still the fact that I still got equipment over in the Kerguelen Plateau, I believe, it just shows how much I need, like, to just open chests every once in a while. Alright. So yeah, with this file, I already took care of, Enoch, of Murmur, and I took care of 2 mini bosses. Okay. Can't think of their name at the very moment. So, I just need to find Enoch. Alright, got Marine Trinket. That's good. Speed which I need to increase it quickly. Ooh. Hey, how's it going, Sweet Dude? Glad to have you here. Ooh. Fun. Alright. Let's grab this apple, keep ourselves a little safer. Ooh, so yeah, we're just kind of chilling, doing this, doing my, like, New Game Plus 1 file for a bit, just to get more used to this beta patch. And I'm killing the bosses with gold gain is the hope, to actually make the gold worthwhile. Despite all my mistakes. Go. Ooh. My mom visited today and brought me my grandma's plum pie. Best meat in the world. Glad to hear it, man. You enjoy that plum pie. Oh no, this is very bad. Well, that was all my mistakes. Oof. Always reminds me of childhood, I bet. Another panic attack. I think I'd go with the panic attacks, because the whole reason for this is I'm trying to get a character that can get a lot of gold from beating the boss. So, let's continue. These two are getting a lot of story right now. And I don't need the sharpening rune anymore. Let's instead grab amp rune, I think. I get a trick as well. Cool. Alright. Ooh. For next week, my main goal is focusing on getting a job and Dungeons & Dragons. Yep, that makes sense. That's legit goals. I need to update my goals. There was some themes of, like, finding... So yeah, if I end up busy for a while and disappearing for a bit, it's probably just me trying to do something like that. Yeah, the ultimate line, exactly. Job and Dungeons & Dragons. What everyone wants in their life. Oof. So yeah, we're gonna see how that fares. Well. Oh well. This is, I need 150. So I guess Achilles Shield, I have enough resolve to just use it. So it's just a 2-point line, y-axis wise, between Job and Dungeons & Dragons. They're both on 0 in the x-axis. So I guess, is X priority then? Questions. Questions. Nothing wrong with math jokes. In fact, that makes it better. Thing is, what makes it so funny? There's the real issue. Gotta make sure joke is a riot. Hey Mindful Line, how's it going? Hope your runs went well. Or, I think you were doing New Game Plus 4 just with your file that's all level 1. So yeah, you were doing New Game Plus 1, or you were doing New Game Plus X with a... yeah, with a level 1 character. Well, time to take some damage, because I can't see the projectiles that are coming at me. Whew. Get out. Didn't kill in time. Oh well. Took us some more damage. Is there a shoutout command? Yeah, Bane SO. If you type in Bane SO, hopefully it should work. Moz should be able to do as well. Gosh darn it. Been stuck on Irad for a while. Yep, I saw level 400 Irad if I'm correct. Yeah, I'm not surprised the level 1 character is dealing with towards Irad and having issues. Okay, so yeah, if you're holding down attack and you dash, the moment it hits the ground again, it has problems. Alright. So let's see. It's just, so I want to get some gold gain, but it seems like the only options they give me for gold gain is panic attacks, which isn't exactly what I want, but okay, I'll accept. Alright. In New Game Plus 2, I was stuck on Bareth. On Plus 3, I killed them in one go. I thought Plus 3 would go smoothly. Yep. One of those things of you just don't know what you're gonna mess up on today. Sometimes it just happens. Alright. For example, here at Xenoc. Fortunately, we are not doing speedruns right now. Panic Tactical. Alright. Whoop. Just roll backdash and hits to insta-kill enemies with Duelist. Assuming I have the damage output for that. Because, like, one of the things is... But that being said, I should have the dash out, but I just seemingly don't, I feel like. Oh yeah, you super crit every time. Yep. Whew. Whew. All right. What am I doing? Alright. Go. There we are. So we're gonna see if we could somehow make it to IRAD with this life. Probably not gonna happen, just because of, you know, low health and panic attacks, but we're gonna try. Maybe we get easy castle. Alright. Let's get free chests while we're at it. We're not speedrunning right now. We're actually gaining money. We're hoping for money, so let's take it. You know, I actually thought I was getting hit and I pressed the wrong button, but it turned out I was just an inch away, which is good, which is very good for me. Hey, we got health. Right, I can actually stop for these because we're not in speedruns. I was really hoping I could head all the way to the right and see if there was something there, but I think that was a bit unfeasible. Ooh. Thanks for jumping. Boxing bell? Sure. Alright, let's just keep it moving. Thank you, Boxing Bell. Appreciate it. Great. Alright, so I have to go up here. One down. There we go. I will use my ultimate skill. Super critical hit. Always good when you can use your ultimate skill. Alright. We didn't get the damage to chain, so call that a success. How do you get to it? How do you get it to you? May I ask? You roll 2d20s on an advantage or disadvantage roll. You know. Oh, how do you get it to do that? If you're talking about Roll20, the web. Oh. So you're saying you're saying also you roll the attack with advantage? Heh. That'd be pretty nice. That's a mechanic I tried doing. It was cool, but it wasn't like insane. Oh, super crit is if they're both nat 20s. I'm pretty sure I could just duelist roll through, but I'm not going to. Because I could just roll on the ground and not take any hits. Soul Steel Rune requires focus, so therefore not used anymore. Speaking of which, I should probably get rid of the Soul Steel Rune so I can have better heirlooms, because I'm pretty sure I'm only gaining 1 health anyways. There. Ooh. Just don't make a mistake. We'll be alright. Alright. That's good. No meat. unfortunate. Thanks. Thanks. Mobile ads are killing you. Kill a lot of people. Sorry that took your life as well. Ooh, dwarfism. This is important. We can now actually get that last challenge. Alright. These are both just a little too out of reach. There we go. Just keep it the story. Once I'm done with this, I think I'm going to do that conversation theme that I said I should do. Take that off. That was major churn. I'm not going to put on haste screen because it might mess up with my stuff. Armor doesn't mean much, so I guess we'll get shearing and might. Okay, can't get might. Oh well. Huh. Why are mobile ads so good? Because you're getting very different mobile ads than I am. That's the only answer I have there. Yeah, for me, mobile ads are just like... They're in the... So first off, all ads are designed to be in the way, to an extent. That's what they do. That's why removing ads is a part of some games. Or like, as a monetization scheme. Yeah, I don't know what ads you're getting if mobile ads are so good. Either that or you're saying it as a meme. Ooh. You're getting some really funny ones. Oh, cool. Yeah, no. Mine are just like very generic, like... I'm not sure if I can explain the art style, but kind of like Sims-esque. And they just all follow that same style. It's just a... So I get a bunch of games of that style, and then otherwise, my ads are all just like a single picture of, like, recently I've been getting an app about weather, like, to check your local weather and stuff. I'm like, I mean, this is useful, but why am I getting offered this? Oof. I think we could check quite a bit. So there's the fairy chest. So we need to grab that one. All right. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Ah, we just got an emotion for narrow practice because we just picked it up. Gosh darn it. I'm getting AFK RPG ones, but they know how to make me not skip the ads. I will cave into the gacha mobile games. Oof, that's scary. Yeah, I'm pretty immune to anything that like asks for money as their play style. Oof. Still won't download them, just pretty good. Someone on a server I'm on got a YouTube ad yesterday, and it was just a dude in a darkroom staring at a camera and breathing, which is very cool. Dude, I just remember, what was it? One person, like, was... I can't remember what they were advertising, but it was, like, how you could stream whatever you want on this. And so it's like, just to prove it, this ad is just 4 hours of me, of watching grass grow. And so the rest of the ad is one of those ads that you could skip in 5 seconds. And the rest of the ad is actually 4 hours long of just pointed at an open field of grass. You've only played one gacha game? Oof. Still played a gacha game. I hope it was worth it. Never spent a dime. Good. I kicked for you. Didn't bounce up high enough because I was a dwarf, I guess. It was not worth it. It was Fire Emblem Heroes. Oof. I did not even get addicted, which for a Fire Emblem game is probably means something to you guys. I don't play much Fire Emblem myself. Did you play it for Boba? Booba? Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking, like, boba is the name of, like, a style of, like, food. I'm like, there's boba in the game? But, no, you're talking about something else. I played it because it was Fire Emblem. Yep, that's exactly what I expected. The fact that this isn't an entry point... And I was so close to the top, guys. Well... So that's not an exit. How close was I to the top? How close was I to the top? Okay, we weren't to the top yet. At least that wasn't like the last room, but okay. So I'm like, the fact that this is an entry point is surprising. That's proving that wasn't an entry point was probably not the best idea. I was just curious what would happen. Like, why was there not wall there? And the answer is because there was supposed to be. Alright, time to climb the tower again. You fell all the way to the bottom of the tower, the floor of Purgatory, where all the bad dwarfs go. Also, dude, it would have been hilarious if it, like, detects that you fall out of bounds and it sends you to, like, the depths of the Fish and Dry Lake in some way, so that it, like, you know, you get access to that sort of area. That'd be actually really hilarious. Like, a way to skip to the final area is just to do that. I think I've already checked this one, and it was... Oh. Yep. Didn't show on the map, but yes, I checked that one. Note to yourself, don't... If there's no doorway there, don't head off the edge. You will fall. See, I think the correct thing is there's supposed to be a cloud there, but... It'd be RG based, however. Why would it need to be RG based? It's already a glitch. Like... Bug report, I fell out of the universe. Again. In case you're wondering, that's actually a common glitch. But yeah, this is where I went. I went right there. So I went left, and I fell off the edge of the universe. Let's see if they changed this at all. Mannequin overcharge, that's very cool. Say the RNG would be based on it generating. Okay, okay. Makes more sense, makes more sense. Alright. As in, using the strat would be RNG, not the strat itself. Okay, let's just add this teleport first. Before I go back for that silver chest, because yes, I'm going back for that silver chest. Don't judge me. Barely not two shedding teams. Doesn't matter, I just want on the chest. Singwin Helm, alright. Ooh. Try to get in the minds of what my players would do is hard. Yes, it's probably a bad idea in the end, but because like at a certain point, yeah, you really sit here talking about that wall being here. Yeah, the more chaotic they are, the harder it is to judge them like that. And from what you've said, they're super chaotic, so kind of an effort in futilism, unfortunately, Kraken. That's my guess. Maybe this is what Mindful needs, just a dwarf to make this fight so much easier. Maybe a disattuned instead, since he's getting one shot anyways, I'm guessing. Alright. Did you know that blinks only blink after receiving enough damage? Yes, I did, actually. I have successfully done less than enough damage to make them blink. And I have yet to see them blink whenever I don't deal damage. Whoa, I actually took damage from that attack. That's a dwarf. First time for everything. It's not actually the first time for that, but I really don't like that. Okay. Good thing I brought Hyperion's Reign. Wait. You could get Dwarf and Disattuned on the same character? Yeah, both Disattuned plus Flame Barrier as a Dwarf. That hurts. But I did not know you could get Disattuned and Dwarfism on the same character. That actually seems kind of crazy. Do not remember that many squishy sounds in this room. Definitely, me neither. Yeah. The main problem is not having to make any mistakes for 12 or so minutes. Definitely. By the way, I've just been feeling like this needs to go down a bit. So I'm going to just do that because you know what? I'm also going to do this. Just make it so I can be heard when I want to be heard. Alright, well we got the stuff here. So I guess we go to Stygia today, look for any fairy chests or tiers that I could kill myself in. Yep. Ugh. Alright. Keep walking, just keep walking. Ooh, I guess that the best prep I can do is just have enemies at the ready on my notes and build an encounter on the spot. Definitely, as you deal with more chaotic parties, you'll find that the ability to just adapt, to improvise really well, becomes like more and more important than having solid preparation. Like, it's obviously good to have solid preparation. It's just like, compared to just adapting on the fly, just the more chaotic it is, the more necessary it is. That leaves the last prep. Well, this roll's complete. Hopefully we stayed around long enough to get some good equipment, to get some good levels, so I can actually move to the next world and be prepped for it, because that was the issue last time. I entered the new world, and I just wasn't... Ooh. AK Rollsack, thank you very much for raiding, man. I appreciate it. We're just chilling right now. I'm getting myself, like, just mentally prepared, so I could do, like, a video talking about this beta patch. So in case you're wondering, I was invited to a beta patch, so that I have this, file has themes in it that aren't in the base game. Like, there are skill crits, there are changes to armor, which, funny thing, in this beta patch, they accidentally broke armor, so it doesn't actually work. So instead of blocking, so you know how armor blocks up to 40% of the damage? They actually messed up, as far as I can tell, it instead blocks 44% of the damage. So, like, I get hits, and yeah, see, 36 minus 1, despite having 24 armor. So, because 4% of 36 is about 1, so... just kind of funny. But yeah, glad to have you here, man. Glad to have you here. What you been doing? Playing Peglin. I've not heard of that game. Hope you were enjoying it. Oh yeah, and this, so the shield bash causes vulnerable, which creates auto crits, but, that low health, that doesn't really help. So, alright. Yeah. We hate math, says 4 in 10, a majority of Americans. Oh god, that hurts. That hurts to read. Alright. Muscle weakness barbarian with the worst hammer. Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Or I grab bookish assassin. I'm just gonna grab the barbarian. Get those two listed if it wasn't already. Alright. I'm gonna finish leveling this character real fast, and then I'm going to... Ooh, I want to see if this scales anywhere. Nope. Unfortunate. By the way, crippling hit intellect is still trash. Good to know. Good to know. Alright. So I'm gonna just get myself ready. So I just want to look at... This is where I want to, look at my stuff. Alright. Oof. Oof. Hey everyone. So I've been playing the Rogue Legacy 2 beta patch for a bit to get a sense of the new mechanics. Now, with the new mechanics, I do think experience is fine. Okay, sorry, I need to... I'm going to do that. I'm going to restart. My apologies. Hey everyone. So, I've been playing the Rogue Legacy 2 beta patch, and they've been asking for some feedback on a few things. I decided I think I have enough conversation, enough thoughts, to provide the feedback. So let's first talk about what they want to get a feedback on. So they had a dexterity and focus change. Now, the focus change does not work because they have to do some changes to the equipment. They have to do changes to the spells so that you can actually get crits with them. Until you can get crits, focus change doesn't mean anything. We'll be talking a lot about dexterity in a bit. XP change? XP just has felt good. I'm not one of the people that are huge on the XP system. I just kind of play the game and it grows. So I've been feeling fine with the XP algorithm. I'm not sure like if it's supposed to be faster, if it's supposed to be slower. It's been feeling fine for me. I'd suggest listening to other people on that. Armor, gear, and relic change? I found that the armor has like an issue. The armor has an issue where it's not blocking up to 40% of oncoming damage, so I can't really judge that. As for the gear and relic changes, I think they feel okay, just making equip weight actually important even in the late game. Seems fine. And that's really the 3 feats. As you might have noticed, 1, I'm not the best person to listen to opinion on, XP. 2, don't actually work, armor and focus don't really work. And then the 3rd is dexterity. So this video is on dexterity. So I'd like to just show you what dexterity looks like. So when you first get to this game, when you start at level 1, you have 15 vitality. You have 15 in basically every stat. 15 vitality, 0 armor, but 15 strength, 15 intelligence, 15 dexterity, 15 focus. And you see weapon crit chance is at 5% as a knight, because knights get a base plus 5% crit chance. Magic crit chance is at 0%, but then both of these. So I think this is where it's interesting. So for the people who don't know, dexterity decides how much crit damage you deal. And so they have this dex bonus scaling and focus bonus scaling. These both start at 35%. So what I thought this meant was that every critical hit deals 35% damage at 15 dex. And then as you get to 16, 17, 18 dex, it would go from 35 to 36, 37, 38, 39. Like it would just scale, probably like 1, maybe 2, 1.5, maybe 2% per increase. And so I started increasing dexterity. I looked down, I'm like, why is dex bonus not scaling? Why is it still at 35%? Turns out I didn't understand it exactly. So the way dex works is, so there's a calculation of how much damage an attack does. So let's say your attack deals 2 times your strength score of damage. Well, dex does, dex would deal 2 times your dex score in additional damage, and then you multiply that number by the percent. So in this case, it would be by 35%. For me now, it's 38%. That took me a while to figure out. When you just see dexterity, weapon crit chance, and dex bonus scaling, you think that, okay, these 3 are all locked together. Therefore, these 3 are all important. These all work together. So this bonus scaling is tied directly to dexterity. No. You actually don't get the dex scaling until Laundromat, way up here, which is locked by a level 58, 56 lock, so you can't even upgrade this until you're about level 56. Versus Dexterity, which is way down here, just after the Duelist. So this was like level 20, and then you can't actually get... So let's start with this. As long as it's 35%, it's really hard to argue that Dexterity is worth the while when you have Strength right here. When you have another Strength right here. As long as you could be upgrading Strength, why are you upgrading Dex? You're getting 35%. Now, as you keep increasing Laundromat, as you keep increasing weapon crits, this will go above 100%, and there is the element of super crits. So, yeah, I will state this. So every character has a way to get a critical hit. Perfect releases are skill crits. So what that means, if I could go up to Lady Quinn, if I just attack, I deal my damage, but if I hold it, there's that little flash. And if I attack right as that flash occurs, it's an auto crit. And then if, in addition to that auto crit, I get lucky and that 1% roll hits, then it's a super crit, which is, you know, the crit happening by luck and the crit happening by skill. I will say, I love the skill crit. I love the skill crit system. I love so much of this system, except for this dex bonus scaling, this focus bonus scaling. This is where I feel it's very weird. First of all, it's not intuitive. If you see dexterity here and then a dex bonus scaling %, you're assuming these are tied together, as in increasing one's going to increase the other. That's not how it works. It took me, what was it? When I was messing with dexterity at the start of this, I think it took me 3 tries to understand what was going on. As in, I did it, it didn't work, someone explained it to me, I understood it, and I understood it wrong, so then they needed to explain it to me again, and then I think that they needed to explain it to me a 3rd time. 3 times I do attempt to understand what dexterity and dex bonus scaling does. That's not good. So, basically, I will state this, I don't know, so there are 2 main issues I'd like to bring up. So the first is dexterity in the early game, when dex bonus scaling is staying at 35%. Until level 56, dex bonus scaling is going to be at 35%, basically. In addition, I'd like to talk about elegance. Reti has brought this up. Some people want more information. I'm on the grounds of less information. Honestly, with these crit chances being at 0% at the start, unless you get, like a class that gives you plus vitality, or you get gear, there is gear that increases crit chance. If you don't have those, then your crit chance stays the same. So I think weapon crit chance, dex bonus scaling, I think both of these bars here could disappear. I think you could just have cut it off after dexterity of focus, and then you get to equipment weight, rune weight. I think we don't have to have these 2 additional bars and clutter up the screen, because right now, weapon crit chance and dex bonus scaling are seen as important as the stats. If we just have our 8 stats, our vitality and armor as defensive, strength and intelligence as base, dexterity and focus as crit, and equip and rune weight as kind of your balance weights, I think that's enough information. And then we might, probably a bad idea, but I was going to say then we might have space to put some other information in here. Maybe if you highlight over vitality, it gives a description here. All I'm saying is, even if you can't do anything like that, I do think having 6 slots for critical hits, when most of it just like is really hard to grasp what's going on, I think that's ineffective for the way you want to make it look. That's really what I'm saying. So for elegance, I think dexterity and focus is good enough. And I know that sounds weird, because a lot of people want to know the numbers, want to know the calculations. But when you're playing the game, you just want to know that critting is good, and you have a number for better crits. You want to see that strength is 15, and dexterity is 30. Oh, I'm a crit character. Or strength is 31, dexterity, yeah. Strength is 31, dexterity is 36. So I'm a bit more of a crit character. Or maybe strength is 40, dex is 10. Alright, crits don't matter much. Like, that's really all you need to see. That's really it. I think most people are happy with that alone. In addition, so with not seeing this dex bonus scaling, it becomes really weird to understand how dex bonus scaling works. And it scales great in the late game, but horribly in the early game. Again, 35%. That means that every 1 point of dexterity, unless you're getting super crits, unless you have great bonus crit chance, every 1 point of dexterity is worth 0.35 of a point of strength. And strength is easier to get than dexterity. Dexterity is not worth it in the early game, which feels really bad. So what I would do is and this is where I would get controversial, this is where someone who plays the late game will probably need to step in and talk about balance, but I don't think dex bonus scaling needs to be here at all. I think what you should do is with your 15 strength, your 15 intelligence, I think you should have 5 dexterity, 5 focus, so it's much smaller, because your dex bonus scaling and focus bonus scaling are going to just be base 100%. These don't have to be numbers that we care about. Not until you get to level 56, and you get to buy the laundromat and increase them higher. Not until you get lucky enough to pick up a room to increase the critical strike damage by 10%, to get the magic break, to increase crit chance, things of that nature. Which is where it brings me to how this works with the endgame. There are now, 6? If you count the soul steal and life steal, there are 8, but I'm just going to stick with just those. 6 relics, 6 runes that you can pick up and improve yourself to make your crits stronger. I think that's enough for making late game dex builds a viable theme. If you have 6 different ways to make your runes more powerful. I think that's beautiful. I think that's an amazing way to just like make sure you have a crit chance. You also have relics that you could find. I would actually increase the amount of relics that work with crit chance. Your Atrapo scissors, the Clotho spindle, that sort of stuff. I would actually add an additional crit, something that maybe a master talent that applies vulnerable to enemies after doing a certain condition, maybe something that charges you after certain requirements are met, just something of that nature. Something that makes critting really, like, basically the idea with crits is you're having to play a specific way. You have to play for the super crits. You need to play to certain outs. I think that's a super cool way of doing it, but they need to be supported in the early game. And like, even if you make it too, here's another thing. If you make it too powerful in the early game, I'm going to guess that most players aren't going to notice. Keep in mind, these skill crits, you have to do perfect releases with the Barbarian. You have to time this exact release. You can't just tap the button. You have to time that release. And most people are not going to be able to do that when they first boot up this game. Dash attacks are actually really hard to do because a lot of people are just going to be dashing straight into the enemy and hurting themselves. I see no problem if the people want to do dex builds early. I see no problem with people trying to do it, and like I think most players will not be able to do it. Dex is like a cool way of trying to focus maneuvering over damage, and then you get damage in the process, and like that's perfect for dex. And it's also, so yeah. First of all, I just want to state skill crits, because I know that was one of the questions. What do you think of skill crits? Skill crits are the best thing you've added. I think that's amazing. I think if you could get that working with focus and spell crits, that's just going to be like the best part of this game, or like the best new item coming up in the next patch. But it needs to be worth something. I would say have your dex start at 5, have the bonus scaling just be a flat 100%. This changes nothing in the early game. In the very early game, and then you start increasing dex. And increasing dex will actually matter. For new players, maybe this doesn't mean much because you're not being able to get those crits. But for us, like the fact that we can get super crits, it allows for the greater potential. It allows for greater potential power. And then it also has, as I said, you have 6 runes minimum. They're moving so that lifesteal focuses on dexterity and soulsteal focuses on focus, so those count as well. Retaliation is also focused on also has focus base. And then, as I said, the 6 down here, better crit chance, better magic break, better damage. Like, then we have the vulnerable condition, we have the charge condition. Like, I think crits are like really well built now. We just need to like make it so that they scale properly. Because I think a lot of people have said that they seem to be fine in the late game. As far as I understand, people have said that they're good in the late game. It's a way, when you get into the late game, you have to rely on crits. Because, let me just be clear, in every system I think about that has like a crit system that it can be scaled, what happens is the crit system trades consistency for power, which means in the late game where you just need more and more power, it on average has more power. Because consistency doesn't matter, because you're attacking an enemy 100 times anyways. So, anyway, what I was getting at is that... Okay, so let me just list the changes that I would suggest. I don't think these additional crit chance dex bonus scaling, I don't think these need to be here. Maybe we could just remove the bonus scaling, and this just becomes 100%, and we don't even touch it. If people are increasing that, they could see it elsewhere. We could see it in gear. If you have a crit rune that increases crit chance and stuff, it could be shown here in your runes. Dexterity and focus should start at 5 to make up for the fact that they're much stronger later. We already have to wait till about level 20 to start increasing them over here. So it's going to be a while before you can do the focus build. Even if crits were the strongest thing in... Like, we're probably going to be doing skill crits in speedruns, like, from here on out. And even then, I think it's going to be hard for me to get to a gym. Because it's so many levels, and I have to buy the dance hall. Sometimes I don't even buy the dance hall. Like, even those skill crits are going to be best for speedruns, like, it's going to be a while. And then, like, there's no chance I'm getting to level 56 in the laundromat. Not in a speedrun. Not in a speedrun. So, yeah, I don't think that will change the early game much. Just gain dexterity down to 5, and just remove dex bonus scaling. Make it a little more elegant. Make it a little easier to understand what's going on. That is my main suggestion. Obviously, you don't have to listen to everything I said. There's a lot of people that have played that enjoy it as certain ways. I don't have too much experience with the late game, so you're going to have to hear someone else about whether or not this still will scale in the late game. All that stuff. I know people were talking about some skill crits are easier than others. I know the assassin being a very big example where the third attack is just always a skill crit. So, I don't know. I'm going to be clear. I need to see some feedback. I would like, if people could, comment on this video, just respond, what do you guys think? Is this a good idea? I think for the early game, this is a good idea. It just makes it a lot easier to approach, because there's not just this huge chunk of 6 items versus 4 up here, 2 up here, 2 down here. Like, the least important takes up the most space. I feel like this is 2 items and takes up 6 slots. So, yeah. I would like to hear your thoughts and feedback. Whatever you guys think. I would appreciate it. I do think that this would be better for the game, but again, I am one person out of many. Everyone, Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll get back to you later. Alright, so that's the video. I'm going to make sure to clip that and put that over in YouTube so that people can see it. Whew. So that's that video. Awesome. Thank you everyone sticking around. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to bring up while I just click through these? Oof. So yeah, in case you're wondering, I've read these all because I've played all the way to New Game Plus 7, I think, on the main file, but I don't have the file into the beta patch. I didn't want... I want to play from the start, basically, so... Ooh, you just blew my mind. Glad to hear, AK Rollsack. I hope you enjoyed it. Did they give any hints on when the next patch is going to come? They said it's not going to come in August. The only hint, as far as I know, is it's unfortunately not going to make it before August is over, because a lot of these got pulled back. As I said, armor and focus are currently broken. When you start the game, you have a 0% crit chance for spells, and there's no skill crit like there is for attacks. So, unfortunately, focus we could not practice. Armor is broken. So if you read the patch notes, it says armor will block as much as your armor, or if that would block everything, instead block, or up to 40%, whichever is lower. Instead of being 40%, it seems to be 4%. So let me put it this way. If you have 10 armor, and you take 100 damage, it's supposed to block 10 of that damage, so you take 90. If you have 10 armor and you take 10 damage, it's only supposed to block 40%, so it blocks 40%, 4 damage. That's how it's supposed to work. How it's working is if you have 10 armor and you take 100 damage, it blocks 4 damage, because that's 4%. If you have 10 armor and you take 10 damage, it blocks 1 damage, because that's 4% rounded up, and you got lucky it rounded up. So, do none of the plaques have details on crit stuff? Right here. Dexterity change. New dex focus algorithm. Linear instead of multiplicative, no longer possible to raise crit chance. New feature, skill crits. Players can now always land a guaranteed critical strike. Rehold the skill tree to account for all these changes. Moves now exclusively scale off focus and dexterity. So, I was answering the question of, do I enjoy skill crits? Heck yes. Is the early game easier? Is it too easy? It is. So, here's the thing. Actually, this is a new additional information. Is the early game easier? Is it too easy? New players will probably notice no effect. There will probably be no significant difference for new players, because they can't really do skill crits when they're still learning the game. Meanwhile, when I'm facing Lamech, suddenly the ability to use Shield Dash as an aggressive tool instead of a defensive one, the ability to dash back and forth to deal additional damage to Lamech, that's actually making the game, the skill floor remains the same and doesn't get any easier. The skill ceiling, you get way better, you're able to go way faster, it's a lot harder, but you're so much stronger if you know what you're doing, which is awesome. Is the late game harder? Is it too hard? There's a debate as to what the late game is, and again, I said I want to let other people talk about the late game because I don't know too much about it. Is Dex/Focus still feel valuable? So, this is the first time Dexterity or Focus felt valuable at all to me. This is just my opinion. I'm not much of a crit fisher person, but this is the first time that Dexterity was something that I was excited to pick up. Skill crits are such an awesome system because it makes it so that I can put the opportunity cost in my hand instead of theirs. It's hard to pull off the opportunity to dash and attack every single attack, but I think it's amazing. So I think that's awesome. Then the XP change. I don't know the exact system. They just said the algorithm for XP is rehauled. New boost to get current XP to the old version, and rehold. I accidentally clicked, so it went back. Let me go back here. But anyways, yeah, this is everything it says about dexterity. Then with the XP change, so they rehold how enemies grant XP and how it caps. That doesn't really tell me much. So they're just wondering, does it feel better? Did the catch-up XP work properly? I did not bring over an old save. Is leveling too easy now, especially leveling classes that were neglected? I don't think it... I think with this, it's just a question of how easy leveling is supposed to be. Because it didn't feel... Like, I'm not getting to max level. So to show you, I'm at level 89 at a New Game Plus 1. And I'm at level, 6, 4, 2, a lot of 3s, a 2, a 1 because I can't play Gunslinger much. I only played Ranger because I got a frying pan off of it. Stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think leveling is... I mean, here's the thing. I definitely kill a lot less enemies than other people, so it's entirely possible that scaling is too easy. but in my opinion, this seems fine. Like, this seems fine to me. Everything level 3 at this point sounds great. So, XP scaling seems to be working fine. So then there's the armor, gear, and relic change. Armor algorithm, all the changes of the armor algorithm, because this is broken, because it's up to 4% of incoming damage instead of up to 40%, you can't really judge armor. They're going to fix that. Until they do, you can't judge it in the beta patch. By the way, that's the reason that only some people have access to the beta patch. A lot of the things I'm bringing up, they are not accessible if you turn on the game now, because they know that this area has glitches. If you were watching earlier, you'll see me fall off the edge of the world. Like, there are bugs in this one. They knew that coming in. That's why they didn't give it to everyone. But they asked for my opinion because I do speedruns and stuff, so I take dedication and think about that stuff in the game. So, I appreciate being here. I hope it was worth it. So then, the last thing is just, does equipment weight feel more important after the balance? One of the big things is equipment weight now goes up by 20% every time you level it up. Basically, this just makes it so that leveling up armor isn't just an always, like, once you get enough equip weights to equip all your armor, you just ignore equip weight entirely. Now it actually still matters, and I think that's worthwhile. And in addition, here's a big thing with that. Leather Unity no longer does bonus equip weight. It does bonus resolve, which is super cool, by the way. That is super cool, by the way. So I can, yeah, here, let me go remove Warden chest, put on my leather chest +1. Warden helm, leather helm +1, leather weapon +1. Notice my resolve, plus 236%. I have more resolve than I started with. I have more resolve than should be possible. Oh, hold up. Let's remove the resolve room. 226%. Alright, so it doesn't affect the resolve room. That's good to know. So yeah, I have 26% more resolve than I should at this point. Than I should if I unequipped all my armor, I'd have less resolve. That's the power of the new equipped leather set. That's how it works. I think that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic, personally. So I like everything. I trust that once the focus and armor changes are fixed, that these will all be positive themes. But it was just that dex. That dex scaling felt really weird. So that's why I made sure to make that into a video-like format, so that I could show them. Whew. Alright. So, really quick. Burdens required 0 because I got these. Alright. I gotta go, but kick some butt. I will, I will roll sack. Thank you very much for showing up. Glad to have you here for the moment you did. Alright. So, I'm going to take another deep breath, and then I'm going to actually talk about these special ballistic archers, the barbarians becoming fighters, the boxers becoming kindle boxers. Actually, no, I gotta play with them a bit, because I'm not sure if they altered it at all. Alright. Alright. Everything's back in order. But yeah, I'm going to play for a little bit just to try to get a chance to play with those Enkindled Gauntlet stuff again. If I can... Because I want to just check the spinning pack to see if how the damage output fares. Because I have some opinions on that I think are... I think it could be cool, but I need to... actually check to see if they changed anything, because I know they did say that there are some other significant changes, so I'd have to see them myself. Ooh, feels good. Super crits. Alright. Glad to have you back, Krakenstyle. Let me just use that. Whew. I typed in all caps on purpose. Yes, sir. Understood. I 100% believe you. And that is not sarcastic either. Oh, right. That's why. I'm like, Why is this being such an issue? Because I have weak muscles, so I don't knock people back as much. Ooh. Alright. But yeah, one of the things I want to talk about is the Fabled weapons, because it's like, it's this fun little option that I think worked a lot better for some than others. And I want to talk about why it worked for like why the Ranger's Fabled weapon is fantastic, and why the Rangers and Knights Fabled weapon are both absolutely fantastic in their own ways, and why the Barbarians just feels lackluster, and just a little bit as to why I understand why lore-wise the chef's item is the item it is, why it's not living up to the others, stuff like that. Ooh. Yep. Awesome. Ooh, there's a good damage. So I have weak muscles, so that might be a bad idea. But it also sounds like an amazing idea. Oh yeah, I have masochism. Definitely a bad idea. Which is why I'm doing it now. Alright. Oof. My good meat. Crescent chance. Alright. Gain all my armor set back. Always feels good. Now exploring around. Oop. If I could just find Lamech. Alright. So Vanguard's banner is now shooting a projectile when I attack. Cirquet's Stinger is just the best here. So the Cirquet's Stinger has its name like it says that restores 2% of max health in some way. It doesn't do that at all. It's not even close to what it does. What it does is it applies poison, which is a new status condition, which is basically like, so poison is basically how do I explain it? It's fire, except it lasts longer and stacks. It's much weaker damage-wise, but like, as you can see, it's about 1.5 damage per stack. But I can get 10 stacks of someone, and it's just going to deal 30 damage per tick. Well, my fault. That's okay. You're expected to die quickly when all your armor doesn't work, so... Alright. Here we go. Whew. We're gonna try this out. Alright, what do I want to improve? Let's get 1 point there, and I'm out of things to improve. Ooh. Hey. I want to equip it now, but good that I can. Alright. Notice that thing. Do they speed up the damage? Or... like, notice that it's dealing less damage than Flame Barrier. And if I let this... like, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this thing does not give me mana fast enough. Oh, I can't even check because, I can't even check. Yeah, at the moment I'm mobile, so I'm on mobile with no sound. That, hopefully the sound isn't too important. I'll wait. Hopefully I can wait until you're back before I have my conversational theme. The problem is this character has masochism, so the one thing I want to test, he doesn't even get to test because he doesn't read. What I want to see is the mana regeneration. Basically, if staying on someone can support flame barrier. But the character has masochism, so I can't even find out. Oh my gosh. We've been better with poison, but alright. Well, no knockback. Definitely hurts. Hey, possibly not dead. Possibly. And just to make sure I'm not getting mana back at all, correct? Yep, and that's because of masochism, not because of the weapon. But yeah, this also has 0 knockback. So, that's also an issue I'm dealing with. Alright. Keep it moving. Still not impressed by damage of the hammer. That's exactly why I'm testing out, and I'm seeming to be unimpressed as well. Like, it's fine, but I feel like the fact that this is fine is due to my skill more than anything. The 0 knockback is definitely painful. And if there's... I don't know it's mana regeneration because I couldn't... Here we go. Now I can actually test it. I can test the speed at which mana regenerates. Okay. Ooh. Hey, how's it going, Credicino? Alright, 2 mana per swing, so... I think this is... Yeah, so it's slow mana regeneration as well, which is the main issue. I think the issue is it's more DPS instead of more damage in one hit. I'm pretty... Mindful Line, do you know the numbers? I'm pretty sure that it's not even more DPS is the problem. Like, it takes a while to kill enemies. And it's no knockback. Like, I feel like I could do a charged hit and kill those enemies. But even then, like, what I was looking for was actually here. I want to see how quickly I feel my mana coming back. Which is, yep, that's the issue. You can't even, I remember this. I can't even use, like, flame barrier sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's even good in DPS department. I could be wrong. If you have numbers to prove me wrong, feel free to let me know. You don't. I honestly don't even need to see it. I just need to know that the numbers are there. All right. Ooh. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like the lack of knockback makes it less versatile. Like, it has that cool ability of jumping back, but like, it underperforms. Like, I know for a fact the spin damage compared to the spin damage of the base weapon is nerfed. I know that much for certainty. I'll get that later. I don't have any numbers, but it's what I expect why it feels weak. You could count the number of hits per second, then compare that with the knight. I mean, keep in mind, this is a barbarian that's changing. So... I will say they have made... I'm pretty sure it's better than it used to be. I'm pretty sure this is spinning faster. But the zero knockback definitely feels off. And then the lack of mana regeneration. Yeah, I plan to make a little discussion theme like I just did with Dex on this. Here. Not bone or Hyperion's Ring. Let's just grab the Hyperion's Ring and be safe. I think this character could kill him at Prime. What's this guy's penalty? Cartographer and compulsive gambling. Wow. Seems like the opposite of a penalty. Alright. Let's see how this guy feels against Lemec Prime. I have a feeling it's going to be poor, but we're going to try it anyways. Ooh. Oh right, it's not Lemec Prime. Forgot about that. Because I had 0 burdens necessary because I had that one upgrade. Speaking of which, I think that upgrade needs to just not be there. All the damage looks good compared to what I'm used to. Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I know at least for speedruns' sake, in New Game Plus 0, Lemec should already be at their break point by now. Then again, I haven't been casting my spells. There we are. Spells were where it was at. Did it always have those runes? Yes, I'm pretty sure it had those runes since Rogue Legacy 1 came out. Like, since it appeared in Rogue Legacy 1, I'm pretty sure it always had those runes. Because it was even, back then, an even more direct reference to Skyrim for that effect. Because, yeah, in case you're wondering, at that time, there was, like, I think one of the themes is... Can someone time this? I'll keep track of how long it takes according to OBS. Like, I'll rewatch it and just, like, highlight it and see how long this took. Because... definitely feels like slow damage. But yes, Flying Ragey, they've always had those runes. Because I think they had it in the first game. Because it was... it's a direct comparison to... Level 1 New Game Plus 1 Primal Mech takes around 5 to 6 minutes. Alright. Well, we have it compared to a level 1 Knight. If it can't match up against a level 1 Knight with, I think, twice the amount of strength. Yeah, twice the amount of strength. Then it has issues. No, it was a Barbarian as well. Oof. So it does have this ability where you just kind of hover over here. So the rules, like the hovering kind of effect is its ability, but then it has no knockback when it does this, which is like a weird dichotomy of strength, of like the strength being the same as its weakness, is what I would say it feels like. The strength is how it like hits everything, so I never miss. But its weakness is that nothing gets affected by the fact that it's hit. So the core strength, I would suggest it. It's core weakness. It may be tons of small hits, but still doesn't match the time to kill. Yep. Reminds me of the pre-repentance soy milk from Binding of Isaac. In theory, your damage output is similar, just a string of weaker hits, but in practice, no. Yep. But like, I feel like it doesn't even need to be like necessarily equivalent, you know? Thank you, mate. Ooh. We know it's not equal, it's just, the problem is that it's not even close. And I'm actually okay with its damage being down if its mana gain is up. Like, if they're scared of the damage output going out of control, I'm alright with that. I just need to be able to cast spells. You know, I need to be able to have this with Flame Barrier, and then it keeps the Flame Barrier active. Because that was always the issue. That's like, this plus Flame Barrier is ultimate spin to win. But then you get this with Flame Barrier, and it doesn't work. What am I doing? Barbarian question. You retain your airspeed when cartwheeling, right? Yeah. Yeah. Like, the whole... Oh, so the theme with, that special item is that you move left and right slower. Might need a few siphon rings to do that. Yeah, but, like, with Knight, I can just keep it active. With Knight, I can just keep it active, which is why it feels weird. Windwall plus Blaze Bellow, this seems like so. So this weapon is legitimately just worse Barbarian. Yeah, basically, that's the issue. That's the issue. Like, even if it wasn't worse Barbarian, like, it has other issues. And that's what I was going to address with the video I want to make. I didn't even have XP ups, and I was still feeling fine with the XP growth. I'm just trying to see if it has some kind of advantage, and I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort. I'm sure the designers appreciate the effort as well. Ugh. Alright. Yeah, on live, normal barb spin is 0.6, hammer is 0.4. Yep. Something like that. So I'm actually going to bring that up because in you do get mana on hit with that weapon, where the barbarian weapon you do not get mana on hit unless it's the grounded version. Yeah, like you get mana on hit, but it's still a big break in your damage output to cast it on spells. Yep. Only some spells are still efficient to cast, like Lightning Cloud and Flame Barrier, basically. Yep. Alright. Hey everyone, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Fabled weapons. Fabled weapons, each of which can be put onto your characters as a special theme in the Soul Shop later on. So, I want to talk about, first of all, the best Fabled weapon, and then work our way down to the worst, and why. Possibly get from this the design tips that can help make these Fabled weapons better, or perhaps better for other classes. And if we can, it would also be cool if we could find out a good way to make Fabled weapons for other classes. So, the first best Fabled weapon is the ballistic bullet with Archer. So the way I would describe this is the Archer is already the strength-based class. They're keeping a distance, and they're firing their shots, and they're just trying to be slower, but more destructive. Ballistic Archer leverages that to the extreme. You go from just an Archer to just a powerhouse if you can manage to pull it off. If you can manage ballistic shots, this is the greatest damage output in the game, I'm pretty sure. It's, like, Ballistic Archer is a very fantastic, of these options, it's the one that is used the most, I think. And it just worked. The reason I would say that stands out is it takes what makes the Archer interesting and good, and it exemplifies that to the extreme. It takes that to its logical extreme. So that's what makes the Ballistic Archer good. The next best, I think, would be pizza delivery with the magical pizzas, like chakrams. So this takes it in a completely different direction. The knight has a stable attack, and the pizza delivery gives them an unstable attack. It takes, instead of exemplifying a theme, it switches it up. We go from a character with a leverage, and then forcing our way to make that the most extreme leverage possible, to taking a character without a leverage, or with just rounded balance being its leverage, and instead of making it more balanced, just giving it strange little opportunities. The ability to kick off your pizzas, the ability to use pseudo range to, like, do spin attack sort of theme. And this is kind of successful, almost because the pizza itself is an awesome weapon. This is the other theme where instead of, like, leveraging the strength and just going extreme with it, pizza is just a cool weapon. So, I will state that cool weapons always make it in. Cool weapons always make it in. So, as for the other three. So I want to state that the difference between the awesomeness of the Ballistic Archer and the coolness of the pizza delivery, everything else is like, those are both A tier. We then get all the way down to like C or D tier with the rest of these. So the other three kind of just need help. Enkindled Boxer, I want to talk about, I actually really appreciate Enkindled Boxer as a concept. I feel like it's not working out as it should. Like, there's some numbers that need to be changed. Maybe the explosions need to be smaller. But basically, the issue with the Boxer was always that you have to get close range. You have an attack that doesn't do much knockback, and you have to rely on your talent as your way to really knock back enemies. Then we switch it around. The Enkindled Boxer, suddenly, your attacks are long range. They're doing a lot of knockback. If you can get someone in a corner, you can just knock them in the corner. And instead, you're relying on your talent to protect you if they get too close. Because if you use your weapon when they're too close, you injure yourself. So, Enkindled Boxer is technically, it's taking the dynamic of the class and altering it. It's from one dynamic to another. I think my main issue with Enkindled Boxer is they still don't have any combo potential. The fact that they lose such a crucial element, knockout punches are supposed to be the knockout ability. They scale off of the higher your knockout is, like, the KO punch scales significantly. So where I think it scales by like 3% for every KO stack, for knockouts, it scales by like 35% or something huge. So having known KO just turns that knockback into just your melee attack, which, I don't know, using... The whole issue with the Untitled Boxer is that relying on their KO punch as their close range, like if you miss and they still have close range, you're out of luck. There's a lot of the main issue with the Untitled Boxer is that the weapon is too awkward, is basically to say it. There are too many times where you're in close corridors, you're going down a small corridor and there's enemies there, and there are 0 places you can stand on the left wall, shoot to the right, and still nearly get yourself hit. Untitled Boxer is a cool idea, but it just did not pan out just because of the design of the layouts of the rooms. So I want to state, because I really like the design, they took the mechanics of it and turned it on their head. From close range with a way to make it long range, to long range with an answer for close range. And all they did is they changed the weapon, which I think was super cool. So I want to keep that in mind as the design, because while the design failed a bit, I think this is actually a really cool one. Next is Stoic Waiter. So what this does is it turns your pan that knocks away projectiles and deals fire damage into a ladle that is a ranged weapon that also inflicts Spore Burst. I like this a lot, but not for Chef. So I'm going to get into this more, but a lot of this is just kind of lore. They had the ladle as the base weapon when they first made the game, and they wanted to use it, and adding the poison damage was a cool way of using it, and making it still distinct. I like how it kept it distinct, but here's the main theme. It's not really... Like, chefs aren't really built to be ranged characters. The projectile shot is like their special effect. They have to get mana. Like, one of the main issues with Chef, we'll get into a bit, but basically the ladle, while it's cool lore-wise, and it's a pretty cool weapon, Chef was not where it goes. I actually believe that while it doesn't really work being a ladle, the sort of style of weapon works better for Archmage, and I'm going to get to that once I finish talking about the weapons, because now we get to the F-tier weapon. Furious Fighter, the ability to... This one, when you attack, you just start spinning and you don't stop spinning. It's basically the air attack ad infinitum, but it deals less damage, and it doesn't give you much mana. It does give you mana, I will state that, but it's 2 mana per hit, and it's just... When you compare it to something like Fighter, or like Knight, you just don't get enough mana. Like, one of the main things is you want to do Flame Barrier plus this to just spin to win, deal all the damage. And it just doesn't... You can't keep the Flame Barrier up. It doesn't give you enough mana. And then for damage, it's 2/3 of the damage of the regular spin attack, which, by all means, the spin attack was great, but it also has 0 knockback. And you also move slower. Now, the move slower is kind of taken care of with the dashing and stuff, but the Furious Fighter just... It has a lot of... They want to stop it from getting too powerful, and they made it horribly weak. This spin attack is just worse than just the Fighter's Axe. I would rather have the Fighter's Axe 9 times out of 10. I'm pretty sure like the one place where this is more useful is if you're like trying to clear spikes and thorns and stuff, and you can't go airborne. You have to stay on the ground, which I'm not sure how many times that happens. So Furious Fighter is just like, the problem is the weakness. So let's talk about the ones that were successful to see how we can leverage this. So the 2 that I like to bring up is one that is taking the strengths and just leveraging those strengths into the nth degree, making them extreme strengths. Another is taking the style of gameplay and altering how it plays. So changing from the talent being protective to changing from the talent being the offense to the talent being the defense. Now, the Barbarian, because you have to take damage for its talent to recharge, it doesn't really have space to do the altering, so it needs to either go into the extreme, or it needs to alter... And here's a third option. This one has not been shown, but this is the option I kind of want to talk about. So Barbarians are probably the only class who really can't get much mana. Their ground attacks are the only way to get mana. They have one of the slowest attacks. Yeah, they have one of the slowest attacks. It only gains mana if they're on the ground. And yeah, that just makes it really hard to get mana gain. So what happens if you have a barbarian and you decided you go intelligence build? What I would love is for you to have a weapon that can actually leverage the fact that you're an intelligence build. If we could replace if we can make this spin to win, it's some way regenerate your mana extremely quickly. Something like instead of getting 2 mana per hit, it gains 5 mana per hit. Suddenly we can have Furious Fighter intelligence build. Like this would be like an Eldritch Knight. This is your way of, you spin, you're not really relying on your hammer for damage. You're not really relying on your hammer for knockback. You're relying on it to get you your mana to do your spells. I know that's not where people expect to go, but what that does is it allows you to make the Barbarian useful, even if you're doing intelligence builds. Because let me tell you, I love the Barbarian, but I also love increasing my intelligence instead of my strength, as just like the style. And it makes Barbarians really hard to play, because you spend 2 spells and then you're out, and it takes a lot of work to get yourself back. Because your attacks are slow, and if you're facing an airborne enemy, well, I guess I'm not getting mana. This solves that problem, but it doesn't solve it well enough. It's only 2 mana per hit, it's just such slow regeneration. So I would just love if I would say with Furious Fighter, instead of increasing its damage, instead of increasing its speed, instead of increasing its knockback, I would give it 5 mana regeneration instead of 2. That alone will probably make it so that the Furious Fighter could be idea that you put that on when you have a really good spell, when you have a Flame Barrier, when you have a Blaze Spell, when you have a way to deal damage with your spell and you can reliably use it. Furious Fighter becomes the option you switch to when you want to rely on your spell instead of your weapon. I think that's how the Barbarian should be used. So with Stoke Waiter, I was bringing up that this was kind of with the where the Archmage should be. So the Archmage has a lot of mana for its spells, but it's from the Mana Leech effect, and sometimes you Mana Leech way too much mana to ever be able to spend. Sometimes you have a 5-second cooldown on Wind Wall, then you have a 5-second cooldown on Shockwave. Sometimes you just don't have spells that can exhaust your mana. Like I will tell you, with this build I have right now, this I can only use every 5 seconds. I'm probably not going to spend it. And as long as I keep Mana Leech on, I will never burn through. Mana Leech regenerates mana faster than Blaze Bellow could eat it up. So as long as I keep Mana Leech on, these two will never allow me to go below my 200 mana. I'll never go below 100 mana. Like, I can't really exhaust my mana as a mage and rely on my strength. Which leads to the other issue, that's the mage. So one way you can do that is to use this ladle effect, where suddenly your weapon, instead of being a way to get back your mana, your weapon is a weapon. It applies Spore Burst. That's a powerful effect to deal damage. It's awkward, much as mages already are, but it's effective. Maybe instead of being a spoon, the weapon could be rephrased as like a cursed book, as like a book, and you're throwing like a scroll at them, like you're ripping out pages and throwing it at them or something. I don't know. And I don't think that's actually the best way to do it. No. I think that unfortunately this Stoic Waiter theme, I think the Waiter Ladle is just going to be a part of the chef, because just they have all the mechanics in there. They need to change the mechanics. So Archmage does have the issue that it is, if you're doing a strength, like if you're doing a intelligence build with Barbarian, you can't really use the Barbarian. I have a feeling that if you have the strength build with Archmage, you can't really use Archmage, and you probably can't really use Chef either. So that's where I'm going to guess that these need the changes. Instead of what that would have to do is, instead of the Ladle applying Spore Burst, the Ladle would just have to deal a lot more damage. It would be basically this awkward option of, I don't use spells. I did not build my character. I do not build my playstyle around using spells. So I need a really heavy spoon. I just need to whack people with it. I know it's awkward, but it makes the class playable for me because I can't use spells. I think that's where the talent for chefs and archmages need to go. So literally, and this is such a weird thing, people probably will disagree heavily with this, but I think the answer is to make just with this ladle, I would give it to both Archmage and Chef probably, and I would have it, instead of Spore Burst applied, I would like double or triple its damage. I would just make it a very powerful attack that you just rely on, if you could get that arc, you could just wreck enemies that you hit with it. Again, really weird. In Kindle Boxer, as I said, it's just really the narrow corridors. They need another option. Like, they used to have the uppercut. I would just have some way... if you could somehow maintain the uppercut in Kindle Boxer, that would fix everything. Just you hold up and attack, and instead of throwing a bomb at your face, you uppercut, and it doesn't explode. And, like, that knocks them away. Like, if the explosions were replacing the combo, and you just still had uppercut, I think in Kindle Boxer could work. That's all that needs to be done. It still maintains the idea. So, with that, I think that would be how I would fix each of them. And again, pizza delivery is great. Ballistic Archer is absolutely amazing. So, those don't really need to be touched. So now it's just like, how do I change the others? So let's talk about the other classes. Valkyrie is another well-rounded class, much like the Knight. So, one of its things is it has multi-directional attacks. I almost feel like the Valkyrie could get the same thing as Spin to Win Barbarians. Like the way, if Mage and Chef get the same thing, Valkyries and Barbarians could probably get the same thing. And, I'm not so sure. So here's the thing, it's well-rounded, which means like the Knight, the answer is to do something wacky and fun. Maybe the way that the Knight gets the Chakram, what could this get? The Blade Wall? I have no idea. Just basically this, I think the Valkyrie has a space for something wacky and fun. The Dance Hall. The Duelist is a very combo-oriented character, like you're trying to get many quick attacks. So I actually brought this up back in Far Shores as an idea of a character that basically their base attack, so their base attack has is a lot of damage, but has a cooldown. The cooldown refreshes when you use your talent. And then your talent refreshes when you get your attack. So you basically have to attack, then you use your... The idea was it was attack, then teleport. Yeah, attack refreshes teleport, teleport refreshes attack. So you have to kind of attack, teleport, attack, teleport, attack, teleport. And if you could do that with the role, if you could do it where you have... Basically build that character, build the shinobi that I was thinking about back then. You just make your heavy attack, then you roll behind them. You make your heavy attack, you roll behind them, and if you ever miss... I would have the weapon have the additional trait that it doubles the cooldown of... It basically gives you chronic fatigue syndrome, that it doubles the cooldown of things. That way you're kind of reliant on using... you would be reliant on actually landing your hits, and if you miss your hits, you kind of have to run until your fatigue syndrome leaves. There is also the problem that if they allow animation canceling, you could, like, attack roll, and then while you're, like, right as you start the roll animation, attack again, then right as the attack hits, you start the roll animation, and you can just get pa-pa-pa-pa-pa, and cause people to explode. That was an issue before with Duelist, so that could be an issue again. So that is one issue that the Duelist would face, but I would absolutely love if they can build just a huge arcing swing attack, but the weakness is you're forced to get chronic fatigue syndrome if you take it, and because of it, it has a 5-second cooldown. But it resets your talent. I would love that to be an item. It resets your talent and resets when a talent is used. Then again, that's like also scary because if it's a fabled weapon that's available for all, resets chefs eating food like that. I have a feeling that could break things. I love the idea, but I feel like I'm not thinking through it well enough. There are some consequences to that, but I just love the idea. I don't want to abandon it. So then, let's see, what classes do we have left? We have Gunslinger. The obvious is instead of reloading that large 24-round clip, you reload like a shotgun. You basically have just a close-range burst, and maybe it has 1 or 2 hits. So it changes the dynamic from reloading and then trying to fire before they get close, to you get close, blast them away, and then reload before they come back to you. Which... I think that would be a fun way to do it. So if they can just like build a double-barrel shotgun and just like spinning around a full-on shotgun would also be pretty funny. Maybe it's a cannon or something like that, but I love the idea of that for 4 shots of 6 pellets. No, I'd actually go 2 shots. I'd go a double-barreled shotgun. I want a close range, boom. So instead of trying to keep your distance and shoot, the dynamic change is you're shooting them so that you knock them away so that you could then get your own distance. So instead of always trying to keep a distance, you're trying to close the gap at certain intervals, is the idea. Oh, 4 shots of 6 pellets. Or, yeah, 2 shots of 12 pellets is another way of saying it. Yeah, I think 2 shots of 12 pellets is a better way of saying it. I would have it be really close and just be kind of a different weapon, because you could fire. It takes a long time to shoot your 24 shots. This would just be, you get in, boom, boom, and now you're done. Now you're done and you have to reload again. These are just highly explosive, fast shots. That's how I would do Gunslinger class. That's just changing the dynamic of the class, keeping the flavor. Alright. Assassin. So this one's a little hard because the class is built on critical hits. So either I think we kind of have to leverage into critical hits. If we want to say that we're an intelligence-based build, they still gain mana fast enough, so that's not even an issue. So we'd have to just lean deeper into critical hits. So instead of like dual blades, I'm picturing just like the tiny dagger. And the tiny dagger is basically the knight's. The tiny dagger would just basically be the knight's sword, except stunted, and always gets critical hits. That's all I could think of. That's all I could think of. So it'd just be a little dagger that shanks people and always crits as if it was a knight. Have to have a very small hitbox, be very scary to use. But that's all I could think of for the assassin. And obviously, again, these are all my stupid ideas. I'm not sure if I said that clearly, that these are all stupid ideas. I do not expect all of them to be implemented. I expect people to have better ideas than I have, but... Alright. Then Dragon Lancers. Let's see. So their main theme is mobility. So I would actually have their special basically turn them into dragons back in Rogue Legacy 1, where they have this fireball that has like a 1 or 2 second cooldown, and they just shoot it, and basically when you switch that theme, you lose the ability to jump and gain the ability to fly. So they have that very limiting attack, but they have the ability to fly. So they just suddenly ultimate mobility and the ultimate issue of very precise on your attacks. I would literally have the ultimate Dragon Lancers become half dragons. And of course, we don't know what the future class Unlock 1 or the future class Unlock 2 are going to be. We think one of them's a Lich, and I have a bet that the poison mechanic is going to be a huge part of the Lich. That is all I know. Unfortunately, we cannot assume anything. So that's it. That's my talk on Fabled weapons. I do love the idea of Fabled weapons, but a lot of them did not pan out well. Oh, also really quick, while we're talking about soul shops right over here, next preferential treatment where you can choose your class for the rightmost character, I would love a preferential knowledge just below it, where I can choose my favorite spell, so I can actually get myself my mages with wind walls, because I love my mages with wind walls. I can also get my knights with flame barriers. I could get things of that nature. I'd love to be able to, in addition to preferential treatments the class, I like to preferential treatment the spell as well. That's just a little tangent. Thank you for listening. I'm done. Thank you. Alright, so as for these traits, yeah, I think I love the idea of the Fabled weapons, but they just need those little tweaks. And if this is it, that's okay. I recognize Fabled weapons are a huge addition. It's basically another weapon. It's basically another class without adding all the dynamics of the class. I understand that's like additional work that doesn't need to be there, so I'm okay if there's no changes. I'm honestly okay if the change is we're removing Fabled weapons. Like, I'm okay with that, whether or not other people are. It definitely sucks to lose the content, but I guess that's why we could lock them away in the soul shop. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your inputs. I do like the idea of Fabled weapons, but a lot of them need to be like more considerate of the class. Like, I feel like a lot of these were, I think these two were based off Full Metal Furies specifically, so they were keeping the flavor of the Full Metal Furies instead of considering the balance. This was part of like when they were first like analyzing like alpha tests. They brought up the ladle, so it's like we're just reusing old assets. Pizza delivery was fun. I love the fun. Like, yeah. Anyways, I think that's it for me. Thank you all for watching. Please leave your comments. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to reply. I'd love to hear your ideas. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Okay, that was a bit more rambly, but I think I got all the information I needed. Oof. Alright. Well, I think I am going to be doing some setup and then moving on to my next game of Magic the Gathering. That was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I got those videos in there. Ooh. Yeah. Anyways, so in case you guys are wondering, I just have water and there's no fan, so I'm sweating bullets. So I need to go refill my water, and when I come back, I think it's time for me to switch over to Magic the Gathering. So if you're leaving here, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have wonderful days. If you want to stay, we will be playing Magic, and I'll be back shortly. See you. If that's your case, see you all in a bit. Have a nice day, no matter what you're doing. Alright, gonna quit, start picking up our next game, and while that's loading up, I will change the title and get rid of this little thing here. Alright, Magic. There we go. Oh, I still have Stream Decker active. I just realized. I need to use it. Yeah, I need to at least use Stream Decker if I'm going to have it there. Alright. Quickly re-roll. Nope, another 750. Quickly check the store for anything good. Nope, just a bunch of lands. They're all still 1,000 gold. Alright. We want Premier Draft Forgotten Realms. Give me a moment to breathe, and then we'll get into it. Hey everyone. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering AFR drafts. We're just continuing on. We did well. We've been getting blue quite consistently, which I am happy with. a lot of people would be unhappy with. But, I mean, if it's open, it's open. Always happy to get open colors. Always happy to get open colors. Alright. Well, let's hope for the best. And again, if you are in the chat right now, feel free to ask me any questions about what's going on. I would be happy to respond. I will be happy to explain. It's just one of those things that when you play the game a lot of things feel obvious to you, but really aren't. Just because you've built it into intuition or something like that. But they're not obvious. Last game, we won like 2 games, I think, because the enemy did not see that they had lethal on board. Oh no. So we had this... if one person does not say they're ready, all 7 of the rest of us have to get reset. Table's ready, but one guy was caught eating nachos. I hope those nachos were delicious. Oh well. I can use a drink of water. Please don't be this. Okay. Let's see what we have. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So this is the only mill card in the entire set, so it doesn't work. So we have Ingenious Smith, which needs synergy. Ray of Frost, which while it's removal, it's kind of like also hard to get people to allow you to have. And I'm gonna say something extreme. This is gonna rotate back. If I take Contact Other Plane, they'll rotate Ray of Frost back, I think. Because this card, people see, ooh, I can splash this because it's, like, it's either Contact Other Plane or Yuan-Ti Flameblade, I think. Ingenious Smith is just a little too much to have to deal with. Critical hits, I'm not good with these combat trick sort of spells. I always play it poorly, I feel. Elemental's fine. There are a bunch of fine cards. Yuan-Ti Fameblade is not bad at all. You know what? I'm going to assume that they're going to pass me blue. I'm going to take Fameblade to speculate on black. Because I get enough blue. There's more than enough blue coming back to me. I could see what's available. Contact Other Plane, Soul Knife Spy. We have 4 to 5 good blue cards. So let's speculate onto black instead. Alright. So I'm always picking the strongest cards. So they just took their rare. And Demogorgon's Clutches is basically just a mill, or discard 2 cards. It 2-for-1s, but they choose what it 2-for-1s, and a lot of times they're just with their additional lands and stuff. We got another Contact Other Plane, which means that will be a lot of card draw. We also have a Veteran Dungeoneer, which is not a bad card at all. This also leads into like a black-white venture. The Contact Other Planes are going to be great. If these rotate back, I'm picking them. I think I'm going to go with the white here. And if these rotate back, I'm picking them. Improvised Weaponry, it is a removal, but it's 3 mana, 2 damage. It's like the minimum damage for the highest cost, reasonable. And I don't like that, honestly. Oof. Alright, Veteran Dungeoneer is what I'm going to be taking. Just the extra venture is nice. We could end up being those 2 colors. Neither color, they're both only 1 color in the splash, so not committed to anything. Stuff like that. Alright. Horde Robber is good if you have the early game. Great with Yuan-Ti Fameblade. Vampire Spawn is okay. Shambling Guess is okay. Planar... Yeah, these are all just, like, good cards. Secret Door is not bad. I'm going to go with a Horde Robber because I found that I always pick all the late game and not enough of the early game. And Horde Robber is a great way to get to the late game. It's also a great way to splash if that's the path we end up going down. It's a lot harder to block. I think there are enough tricks in this format that... like there's Manticores and stuff like that. It's also, a lot of people will miss their 2-drop. Like, this can spin out of control if I get it through. So, I think that makes it worth. Alright. Barrowin. Hey, you always pick the best card. It's either Barrowin or Minas Containment. But with 2 ventures already, and this... And we have a Veteran and a Zombie Ogre coming back around. But it is Minimus Containment. I'm sorry, Barrowin, you are a great card. If you make it back, I would love to have you here. But this is removal. This is hard removal, and it's the best hard removal in the format. Like, enchantment removal is playable in this format because Minimus Containment is in this format. So I think we have to Minimus Containment, even though I want to play Barrowin. So, yeah. The fact that pick 4 Minimus Containment actually says a lot, because 2 commons were taken before Minimus Containment. Wow. The more I consider that, the more powerful it seems. Okay, so here's the question. Horde Robber to just commit to the early game tempo? Or Owlbear because it's freaking Owlbear? Because freaking Owlbear is like the best green card, but as a double green card, it's very hard to commit to. I think that's better than Druid class. It's definitely better than Dungeon Descent. Ooh. It's like, they had to have some good cards to not pick Owlbear. Beefin, it's Owlbear? It's Owlbear. Got it. Oof. Yeah, it was just between that and we already have a good white-black setup. We have already removal, a Death Toucher, and Venture Synergy, like... So I didn't know if I could splash the color. A second critical hit has been seen. Thieves' Tools with Yuan-Ti Flameblade and Horde Robber becomes viable. Value over replacement is good, and that pack is just kind of ugh. Yep. So I actually am thinking I might want to try out the Thieves' Tools. I haven't played much of it, but we have 2 premium targets for it already in our deck. And the only other option is Spiked Pit Trap, which by all means is a good card, but it's a very slow card, and this is kind of aggressive format. So that's kind of my decision. Evolving Wilds is also pretty nice to note as an existing theme, but I'm going with this. I don't think so. Alright. So I'm thinking so I don't think Fate's Reversal is good enough. It does get me a creature back adventure, but I find that it's never fast enough whenever I play it. Choose Your Weapon is a combat trick, and it also can kill. It's also a kill shot at times, depending on the encounter. Yeah, I think it's a combat trick often enough that Choose Your Weapon is playable. The second Thieves' Tools, I don't want to do this early in the picks. Dungeon Crawler is just a 1-mana 2/1. It's great if I'm aggressive, but it goes back to my hand and only when I complete dungeons. There are times where I won't complete an entire dungeon in time. Here's something I'll watch. 2-mana removal, also a combat trick. Like, this card is pretty amazing. Half-Elf Monk is not bad in any way whatsoever. Neither is Check for Traps. Oh, by the way, Beefin, thank you for coming by. Glad to have you here. I'm not sure I said that out loud. Check for Traps is okay, but I'd rather pick premium, like good removal or a Stunning Strike. I think I'm going to go with the removal. Though, Half-Elf Monk should not be underestimated. Alright, we're back to my pack. And the Contact Other Plane made it through. So, I'm going to actually put the Contact Other Plane over here. And the reason why is Contact Other Plane could be splashed for just, like, you can use treasure tokens to use this to get your card draw in your deck. So 2 Contact Other Planes is actually perfect for me. Alright, so we could Gloomstalker if we think we could get into the Venture order. Or we could Secret Door for 1... No, I think we're going to be splashing in blue. Like, we got the 2 best cards, and we don't want much more blue. They actually did end up picking quite a bit of blue. So I'm going to pick the Gloomstalker here. Yep, people don't like blue in this format. It's so weird. So I'm just trying to figure out if I want the Sepulture Ghoul as just... Yeah, I think we just want this as a 2-drop. It has some synergy with Sacrifice Outlets. Also just stops their Price of Loyalty at times. But I guess we're getting a Fate's Reversal. Not exactly, like, hyped about that. Do not like Devour Intellect. Bard class doesn't work in Limited. Cloister Guard Coil, Barrowin. Yeah, I think it's the Barrowin. Like, it's pretty easy Barrowin. Like, these both venture, but someone already took the other Barrowin, so I know this is not rotating back. And this is going to bring back my Fane Blades. It's going to bring back... Like, the only creatures it doesn't bring back are Dungeoneer and Owlbear right now. We are low enough on the ground that this is going to bring stuff back. I have combat tricks like Choose Your Weapon to keep it alive to do another attack. If I end up going green, that is. Yeah, I think this is just a good card. This is just the best card here. Hama, like, all 3 of our uncommons are great adventure cards. So I need to note that. We have a Here's Something on Watch, which is great. We have a Veteran Dungeoneer, which is great. Like, we have 4 great cards. Actually, we have 5 great cards I'm happy to see rotate. And I'll pick a Deadly Dispute if I have to. Like, Deadly Dispute is not a bad card. It's just a lot worse without the red. Raven Feeblements, that's just 2-mana remove. That's just a 1-mana removal spell. It's a combat trick. Yeah. I don't think there's much really I need to talk about. It's Raven Feeblement. It stops their attack. It buffs ours. It's a good card. With our cards, I'm starting to think Manticore might start being better, but I think Half-Elf Monk is what I would prefer to see here. Back of Holding is okay. We might end up in those points where we have no mana to spend. Kallian gain around is actually pretty impressive, I feel. I don't think I could splash in red. Don't think I could splash in green even. I'm just going to put these over to the side because it looks like we're aiming for white-black, but I'm not going to ignore, like, the double contact other plane. If we could get treasures, that'd be great. I think I'd go for Kallian in case it turns out to be available. I think it's better to go for the possibility of treasures for more splashing and stuff than it is to go for just a 2-mana 2/1. Alright. You hear something on watch is fine. Ooh, Dragon's Fire, but I think it's a little too late for that. So it's another Thieves' Tools, and Thieves' Tools is actually a lot better now because it's treasure tokens and it's ways to get these cards through. Oh my god, it gets Barrowin through! Oh my gosh, it gives Barrowin through! Is it worth getting a second Thieves' Tools? I think Here's Something on Watch is good enough as is, and Thieves' Tools might wheel, so I'm going to go with that. But we now know that we could get a second one of those. Alright. Ambush on the Road is a combat trick. So Nice Spy likes Thieves' Tools, but I don't think that's the path we're going. We could Plundering Barbarian for the treasure token. We could just Baleful Beholder. I'm not sure our deck allows for a card this slow, but the sacrificing an enchantment is actually very strong, and giving Menace has 1 game, so it would be the very, very top end, but it could see play, and that's something I'm not sure I could say with the other cards here, so. Alright, Tresla, we don't even have much life gain. Alright, is it Deadly Dispute? We have 7 creatures, 6 non-creatures. So Deadly Dispute does like, oh, my creature's getting killed. Let me just kill it myself and get some advantage out of it. Beholder is a kill spell. This gives us treasure tokens. I think that's literally the leverage, because we have 2 contact other planes, which I was going to say is why I don't want Deadly Dispute. But we have 2 treasure tokens. 50 feet of rope could have been considered probably, but oh well. Hoarding Ogre with Kallian would have been insane, but I think we're just too late to get into red. Let's Rally Maneuver. Rally Maneuver can just combat trick with a lot of our cards. Zombie Ogre is a pretty great top end. Just starts turning our cards into value for venturing. Yeah, it looks like we have white-black ventures coming around pretty well. Spoils of the Hunt would be great if I was more confident in my green, but I'm not. Alright. Hammer Wield, Ranger's Hawk, and so... Alright, so someone got the other white ventures, which is unfortunate. I could get Hama, go for the Contact Other Planes, and we're splashing blue, and then I just start looking for ways to splash. The question is that better than Ranger Hawk? It's either Hama or it's Ranger Hawk, and I think I'm going to try for the Hama. Because if I lose the Ranger Hawk, I'm not going to be, like, crying. But if I lose the Hama, I might. Feigned Death is okay. I'm okay having one of them. I'm not sure. We don't have any equipment for a Half-Elf Monk. So I'm just going to go with the 1 Feigned Death. I don't want to run 2, but I'll run 1. Alright. Yeah, I think we're... If anything, we are splashing blue. So let's get blue ready. This has treasure synergy, which it helps for the splash, if it somehow comes to that. Your Ambush on the Road is fine. Plummet is sideboard. Oh gosh. Triple red does not work. Cleric class, Cloister Gargoyle. I think it has to be the Cloister Gargoyle. By all means, Black Dragon is great. This synergizes with our deck. It's faster for our deck. Like, our deck is not slow enough to bring in Black Dragon. Our treasures are going to be for splashing Contact Other Plane for more card draw. Like, so I think I'm going to go with a Cloister Gargoyle, just to emphasize the aggression and venturing going on. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I definitely could be blinded, and I should be picking Black Dragon. That's definitely a possibility. I know this is not wheeling. The last one did not, which means this one's not going to. If I don't get Black Dragon... I don't think I get Cleric class. I think I'm just going to end up with a Ginny Windseer as my next card. Alright. A little unfortunate, but that's okay. Someone's getting Go Green. Let me look at my curve. Do I want Fane Blade or Dungeoneer? We are 11 black, so we are focused black. We are focused black, and then we're some white. I think we want to keep the Fane Blades. Dungeoneer has a great body, but this has Death Touch and is hard to block. And we have value when we get a creature that's hard to block. So I'm going to go with the UNT Fane Blade. We hope for the Deadly Dispute. We hope for the Veteran Dungeoneer. We're okay if we don't get them. This is a Death Toucher, so... Alright. Have a great draft. You too, man. You too. And we found a bomb. Skullport Merchant. But is it so much of a bomb to pass up the Minimus Containment? Therein lies the question. I think the answer is yes. It gets us a treasure token, which is sometimes just good enough if we're splashing blue. And it's huge card advantage. It wins games. That card wins games. I'm going to go for it. Alright. Genius Smith I don't think works. Priest of Ancient Lore does. We need more playables, actually, which is pretty amazing to consider this late in that we still need more playables. We might not be splashing in the Contact Other Planes because we got a card draw with Deadly Dispute, a card draw with Skullport Merchant, and now a card draw with Priest of Ancient Lore. So I think we could just go black-white and not have to worry about the splash. So I'm going to go for Priest of Ancient Lore here. Let the Contact Other Planes lie where they lie. Alright. So here's the crazy one. I think I want the second Thieves' Tools. I have 2 Yuan-Ti Flame Blades. I have a Barrowin. I have a Horde Robber. Treasures are pretty valuable. Yeah. If I'm splashing, I'm using the treasures. Half-Elf Monk does tap a creature, but I think I'd rather just get my creatures through. Alright. Gloomstalker for when I get through. Over Fate's Reversal, which is just play the card again. That's not good enough. This is Double Striker. I think Ghast has proven itself good enough, and it gets me treasures if I need them. Alright. Divine Smite. So it does exile black creature. It's a really good removal against black, but otherwise it's a weird combat I'm going to try it, but I'm not so sure. I feel like this is too much sideboard material. Alright, pick 9. We actually got the Sepulchre Gold back. I'm going to put it in my deck for now, but probably is going to get pulled. Ambushed on the Road. I don't think we need 2. Leather Armor. Possibly. Yeah. I think we got our deck. At the end, we ended up getting more playables than necessary. Devoted Paladin in case we're aggressive enough. And we look aggressive enough, I'll say that much. I think this could be a 16-land deck because of it. Alright. Always love my UC guard approaches. But I think we're going to try to go for... What's this? So, I think we get rid of the Baleful Beholder. We don't need that much top end. We get rid of the Feigned Death. Get rid of a Swamp. I think the weakest card is Gloomstalker here. Gloomstalker and Fate's Reversal. Let's see, if I do that, and I put in a Contact Other Plane, I think that's a mistake. Alright. So which is better, the Gloomstalker or the Fate's Reversal? That's what I need to ask. 1, 2, 3, 4... Just trying to count how many ventures. 5. Alright, so we have 5 ventures. They are strong ventures. I think the Divine Smite can go, and I could put back in the Fate's Reversal. Because it does venture. Maybe I put in the Feigned Death instead, because it's a combat trick. Yeah. I actually like the Feigned Death better. Just reanimates a creature after it dies. So it does it quickly, and we get to keep tempoing. Not sure about this deck. It's very much aggressive, but I'm not sure if aggressive is where I want to be. So, as for cards with Thieves' Tools, we have Horde Robber, 2 Sepulchre Gills, which can be basically finishers by you attack, after they declare blockers, since they couldn't block, you then sacrifice, you get 4 damage through. Fane Blades gets you constantly venture. Barrowin gets constantly reanimate. Then, yeah, every single one of my creatures... Yeah, it just makes... That's awesome. Thieves' Tools just makes my creatures unblockable. Oh, that's great. We do have Deadly Dispute and Skullport Merchant as ways to draw... as card draw. So, I think that's good enough. We have 1, 2, 3... We only have 3 kill spells, but then we also have two Fane Blades. So I think it's going to be fine. Definitely scary. Definitely scary. Oh, 4 kill spells. Thank you. Alright. Call this... Yep. Fast venture, I guess. I'm not sure it's very fast, but it's venturing quickly. And... yeah, I think the Fane Blade's actually where I want the leverage to be. Alright. So, before I start... I'm going to try to get the Dexter active, since I have that ability, so... Let's... Sport. Awesome. And while this plays, I'm going to be taking care of that on the other side. Okay, what's the name of this extension? Stream Decker. Okay. Decks. Paste deck list. I'm just gonna submit. And okay, set as current. Okay, sorry about that long delay. Alright. If I draw a Plains, my entire hand plays. If I don't, I have a Sepulchre Ghoul. If I draw a Swamp, I have Skullport Merchant, Yuan-Ti Faneblade. I think I have 2 draws at a land. I have 14 lands left in the deck. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous keep. If I didn't have such a low curve, and I didn't... Like, here's the thing. I have a low enough curve that even if I don't draw a land, I might draw playables anyways. That is a terrifying card to see. But they didn't play a creature. So if I don't draw a land, this might get me the land. Which would be great. Alright. I'm gonna go for it. They're forced to block, basically. Unfortunate not drawing that land. Oh well. I knew it was risky. I kept it anyways. Wow, 2 Reaper's Talismans. That's actually terrifying. Alright. So if I attack, they can block and perfect trade. Or... let's see. If they let the Sepulchre Ghoul through, that's not even a positive for me. And... yeah. So I'm gonna just... I think I just play the Fane Blade and go. And let go. Well, I'll block with Sepulchre Ghoul. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Well, they could double equip the Reaper's Talisman, and then I have to block and trade, basically. Or are they Clattering Skeletons? Okay. And they'll block with Clattering Skeletons. And then I just play the other Fane Blade. Oh, right. Not drawing the lands hurts. Not drawing the lands real hurts. Alright. They attack with both Captain and Clattering Skeletons. Captain's first strike gets them through. Or they just double Reaper's Talisman the Skeletons, and then I have to block with the Fane Blade. Either way does not end well for me. Yeah. If they don't double equip, it's because they have a combat trick, just flat out. We're in a bad spot. So they have a combat trick. I'll be going now. Good luck with the draft. Thank you very much. This game seems like we're getting land issues, but I appreciate the good luck. Alright. So they do attack with both. Alright. They do have a combat trick. We are certain they have a combat trick. So I'm just going to block here and see how they respond. Because they have a combat trick. I am certain. They just didn't use it because they didn't have to. Alright. They venture to scry. If I get hit with my Horde Robber, I can Skullport Merchant, have mana open for a Here's Something on Watch if I really need it. But yeah, right now I'm kind of the control deck, as bad as that sounds, given my situation. Alright. I'm going to attack first with the Horde Robber. Get myself a treasure. If they don't do something. They have 2 mana open. They have a Dragon's Fire. I'm just waiting to see it. They have something. Power Word Kill on the Horde Robber. Feels good, man. I mean, it doesn't exactly feel good, but it's good enough. Alright. So they have a Thieves' Tools. They equip it to the Hobgoblin Captain. And do I just... I think I just hear something on Watch the Captain to just make sure they have no creatures in play. And I probably will, if they start applying pressure here, I will sack the Sepulture Goal looking for a Plains. That's pressure. Cancel. Cancel. That will give them 2 skeletons. Alright. Now that there's 1 skeleton, I think now I sacrifice the Sepulture Goal looking for answers. There we go. I don't have any enchantment removal, actually, so this is going to be rough. I think I go with the Veteran Dungeoneer over holding up the Skullport Merchant. Get this venture going. Oh, man. That's worth. No attacks. They'll attack with a skeleton. I'll block. Oh my god, I just realized they have double Reaper Talisman on that skeleton. I don't know how I win this anymore. I don't have Enchantment Destruction. I don't have other destruction. They just... Oh, but the Reaper Talismans won't remain effective on the future turns. Gosh, they're now at 20 health. Next, I could create a 1/1 red goblin to block one. Alright. And the Reaper Talismans just give it Death Touch. They don't actually scale it well. Awesome. Or I could Gargoyle, Treasure Token with Gloomstalker. But that doesn't even really help me much. I think so. Oh, if I do this, I can sacrifice the treasure token to draw a card. Not even sure if that helps. I think the 1/1 will help. Alright. Correct answer is actually to re-equip the Reaper's Talisman on a specific one. but it's a really weird play to make. Yeah, we are just in an issue scenario, so... Alright, so they did that so they could still attack alone with this skeleton, which sucks to be me. Especially if they equip the Thieves' Tools. So now we have just a massive monster here. We're taking 5 damage. They're healing back all the health they lost. We need to venture twice in a turn, basically. Okay, so we can contain the skeletal swarming. At least we have that. Alright. That's an answer. At least for now. I don't like the answer, but it's an answer. Skullwort Merchant blocks. Oh, they just attack alone? Alright. Right, because now they can just attack alone. So now we die, like, next turn. Unless we do something big, but... We had a skeleton. We faced a skeletal swarming and did not have an answer for it. That's what happens. Yep. Ooh. I cannot venture fast enough. I can rally maneuver and ray, so I'm going to attack with 2 creatures. Alright, so you gain +2/+0 on first strike, and you gain life link. I think that's the plan. Let's do... Actually, you gain first strike, you gain life link. Keeps me alive. Alright. So I'm alive. Then, once they declare combat, I will then Raven Feeblement the skeleton. So now they have none of those tools active. So now they have to re-equip all of them on another creature. At this point, I think I just attack with everything. Yep. And they're just... Alright. So if I Stone Stone Gargoyle, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. I survive at 1. If I hear something I watch, it's the same effect. So... Yep, it's the double Reaper's Talisman Thieves Tools that really just wrecked me. Alright. Thieves Tools not going to cut it here. Need to have some way to stop them from attacking again, instead of just killing them as they attack. Oh, they just have Magic Missile. Okay. Well, yep. We've dealt with a Skeletal Swarming and double Reaper's Talisman. Reaper's Talisman is a great card. Skeletal Swarming is an even greater card. Like, I have no complaints with losing there. Probably could have played better. Probably could have kept a better hand. Probably could have not threw my Yonti Flayblade into a 2/2. Probably could have made a lot of better decisions, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure I was making that anyways. They had double Reaper's Talisman. Yeah. Probably could have scried knowing Minus Containment was an answer, but, like... We were in a bad spot. We didn't get our third land. We were in a bad spot. Alright. This time we have going first, Horde Robber into Thieves' Tools, as well as a Minus Containment, a Deadly Dispute for the treasures being made by the Horde Robber. Like, we in good shape now. We are in much better shape this time. Oop. What could they be holding up for 1 mana? You hear something on watch, gives a creature +1/+3. That's it. That's the only thing I could think of that they'll be holding up. So I can Thieves' Tools, sack the treasure to equip it to Horde Robber, attack, get the treasure back, basically. If they want to hear something on watch my Horde Robber, I am okay with that. Sucks. Oh, I could leave up my Deadly Dispute by not equipping the Thieves' Tools. If they leave it 2 mana to hear something on watch, I could Deadly Dispute in response. I don't really go negative. And if it gets through, Thieves' Tools treasure token. Like, so I think I have a play to get myself a treasure token at the end of this. I'm trying to think what possible plays they could be doing right now. I have a feeling they have the dog, the 2 mana 3/1. And you just were trying to think of if they play it. Or if it's a mistake. And it is a mistake, so they made the right choice. Attack. Let's see if they use a hear something on watch. That just gives me a pretty free Deadly Dispute. Yep. I'm gonna get a Fane Blade or a Shambling Ghast. Alright. The thing is, Zombie Ogre still benefits from Thieves' Tools, which is why the double Thieves' Tools is actually good for this deck, I think. Definitely sucks not having Reaper's Talisman, but, like, oh well. Like, Reaper's Talisman is a huge boon that the other guy had, and I just have to live with that. Alright. We played 1 removal. 1! I think I just tempo out the Zombie Ogre with my treasure token. We'll see if Contact Other Plane is worth splashing here. Yep, they definitely have the your ambush on the road. So they have a +1/+3 buff in their hand. Gotta remember that. Because they 100% have that. They would not be pausing like this. They would not be capable of pausing like this if they didn't. They could be bluffing, but it's like that bluffing is also being a jerk. And most people are not jerks like that. Especially not silver players. This guy literally does not realize that they have the options. They're like, maybe they're on mobile. Maybe it's a little hard to press buttons. I hear mobile's actually really good, though. Okay, at this point, I'm just kind of waiting for them to time out so I can actually continue the game. Continue to my game. Alright. Zombie Ogre. Hopefully they don't have removal for it. Yeah, they're just not present. Like, they have something they could do for 1 mana. Again, probably you hear a guard approach. And they're just wasting time because they don't... Okay, no, they're there. They're highlighting over my Zombie Ogre. I think they're just reading every single card because they don't know this format well enough. Maybe that's it. But they're playing so slow, it's painful. Drink your water, bear. Gonna be a long one. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. But at the very least, I ate their containment. If I wanted to play safe, I could have Gloomstalkered, but now they just use their turn containing that. You know? Not even that bad. I can contain their containment, but I don't think that's the play. Their inability to actually skip through their turn is daunting. I'm now just assigned whether or not we let it happen. I mean, if we're making mistakes along the way, then that's just evidence that we are not using this time successfully. We're not thinking hard enough about our actions. But I do think our answer here is pressure. Yeah, they have a 1-mana play of some sort. Probably just returns a creature to their hand. And they want to make sure to play around my issues. Alright. There's no wraths other than Annihilation. They only have planes so far. Half-Elf Monk. Alright, so I can attack with both of these without issue. They block the Gloomstalker. They could block and use the You See a Guard approach to kill my Fameblade, but then they're down cards, and then I just play Skullport Merchant, and I think I win in the crack. I think I win in the eventual Crackback War. So, because yeah, it takes out 2 cards in the process. I'm not containing a Half-Elf Monk when they have a combat trick ready. That's the simple gist of it. So they block the 2/3 without dying, but then I get a Venture. Like, this is good enough of attack to force them into a bad position. And if they use a combat trick, I am happy. I am actually happy. Like, what are they going to... They have to use... No, they have 1 mana. They have to use here's some... You see... Or your Ambush on the Road. They have to use your Ambush on the Road, which either they're bouncing that back in the hand, which means they're developing negative tempo, or... Yeah. Alright. I'm going to continue. I might actually Tomb of Annihilation. I don't think that my pressure is that fast, though. The 4/4 Death Touch is definitely great, but I think the +1/+1 counter, the treasure token, and the card draw are both all good enough, as is. I don't need more in that line. Bro. Yeah, that's perfect. Alright. So when they attack, I can block with Shambling Gas, sacrifice Shambling Gas, get a treasure, draw a card. He has to think. Fair enough, but he's been holding this thought bubble since turn 1. Since turn 1, when he had a target, he's been trying to think about this. And like, he had something to think about this turn. This turn, he has something to think about. I will agree. I will grant you that focus. Last turn, all they had to think about was using a buff spell on my creature, and they lagged me out. They were lagging me out with that. That's unacceptable. Alright. Unacceptable! Yep. Yep, can't equip the +2 mace, buddy. Sorry. Guys are just a little more expensive than you thought they would be. Skullport Merchant's going to drain all the value I need, I think. Alright. Oh, this is actually perfect. So I block here. So now I sacrifice here to get my card draw. Instead of creating a treasure token, let's just kill the Blink Dog. So the cool thing about Blink Dog with phasing out is you could double strike, hit them once, and then phase out before the second attack comes in. Alright, so they had to ambush on the road the Blink Dog. Congratulations. There we are. So I could Raven Feeblement here. Thieves' Tools attack, and they can't block. Yep. I think I just Ray now to get this guy out of the way. And make this guy unblockable so that the Blink Dog doesn't stop him. Can't be blocked. Sorry, bud. If you have your ambush on the road, you can kill the merchant. And then you're, like, out of cards. Alright. Do I want the 1/1 goblin, or do I want the treasure token? See, I could put +1/+1 counter on the Fane Blade. And... or I could put it... yeah. And I could still sacrifice it all the same to my Skullport Merchant. So, if they equip the +2 mace, I can block and then sacrifice it. It does cost me a treasure, but I think that's perfectly fine. Alright. I have so much board presence. And yeah, Thieves' Tools basically fits on every single one of my creatures, so that's great on my part. Alright, Potion of Healing. Yeah, this person... I think this person tried to draft... I legitimately think this person tried to draft mono white. Because usually when you see one color, it means the other color is stuck in their hand. But they've been playing pretty aggressively. They've been playing their cards. They can't trigger Blink Dog's phasing effect, so... they equip the +3 mace. I get a... have options. No attacks. Alright. Well. I could Minimus Containment the Bleak Dog, or I could Rally Maneuver, give this guy... give mine first strike, so it the Skullport Merchant kills the Blink Dog. Oh my gosh, that's actually great. I like that over Containment on that thing, so... like, this looks like I'm sacrificing because I mistook what's going on. Then you throw the oops. But I don't need to throw the oops because they're blocking already. Gains first strike. Gains lifelink. I'm going to put it on the Gloomstalker. So once that Gloomstalker gets double strike, we just hit in for everything. Alright. Alright, Ingenious Smith. See what they get. Maybe a Spiked Pit Trap. Maybe another equipment. Who knows? We could just Minimus Contain it. Attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. So we're 2 off from lethal. Okay, no, 5 off from lethal. Fair enough. Potion of Healing. Fair enough. But, like, we're going to draw a card. Gloomstalker is going to have Vigilant. Going to have Double Strike. And be unblockable. So... I think we're fine. I think we're in the clear this game. It's just a matter of getting there. A long, drawn-out process. By all means, think. Just... consider time costs, please. Alright. So, Ingenious Smith's only going to get bigger, so I'm just going to contain it now. Oh, I forgot to sack my treasures. Sack it to sack 2 down Potion of Healing. Is that your play? Yeah, if I sack my treasures, I could possibly... you know, I should sack my treasure after I hit all attack. We're gonna sack this last turn. Oh, I will have just got planes. Okay. And I don't need to put more pressure. I'll have a sack outlet. I'll have a creature if they somehow wipe the board. Feels like they were building an Ingenious Smith deck and didn't realize the consequences of not having enough artifacts for Ingenious Smith. Alright, well they have no mana for that, so unless they draw a land here. Okay. Good game, buddy. Good game. But it wasn't good game. It was slow. It was bad game. Alright. Gloomstalker doing its job. Yep. That's my deck. I feel like I do definitely run out of cards. So there might be... I do think I also definitely get treasures. So putting the Contact Other Planes in might be worthwhile. The Gloomstalker performed there, but I think any creature would have performed there. I am going to, just as an experiment, just because we have the treasure tokens for it, I am going to remove one of these cards for the Contact Other Plane. I'm not going to put blue in. Don't you worry. But yeah, I think the Gloomstalker, like, it was fine there. It probably would have helped me, but, like, I had to complete the dungeon and have a way to make the 2/3 bigger. Because, yeah, there's just big bodies in this format. Like, a 3/4 still dies by the time the venture is completed, so... We're going to try that Contact Other Plane. We're going to just analyze, oh, this was good because it drew me cards when I needed them. Or, oh, this was bad because it wasn't a creature when I needed one. We'll figure it out. We will figure that out. Just going a little slow today. That's all. Ilsa Gold. Alright. So we have a Faneblade. We have a Hear Something on Watch. This is slow for... If this was going second, I'd be happy with this. Because it's going first, it feels a little weird. I'm keeping it, but I don't like the keep. I feel like I could be much more aggressive if I drew like a Horde Robber or something. And if I draw only lands... We in trouble, boys. We in trouble. Oh. Oh. Very much would have liked to draw you last turn, Sepulture. Alright. Circle the Moon Druid. Alright. And yes, I am using Hear Something on Watch if they go for the trade, because it allows my Sepulture goal to take care of the rest. Alright, no more lands. That's fine. That's fine. Sepulture Ghoul stops the Circle of the Moon Druid from going in. And Deadly Dispute allows me to get value if they stop me. The Hear Something on Watch, like, I think I have a lot of different options, and that's always a good thing. So what I'm going to do on this next thing is I'm going to block the Circle of the Moon Druid, then they're going to use a combat trick to try to blow me out, and then I'm going to use my combat trick to counter the blowout. Because they're not blocking with Circle of the Moon Druid. They just made that clear. Yep. If this ends up being my trade, I'm happy. Do I watch this? It does use my mana effectively. I'm gonna watch it. I know that I was waiting for a combat trick, but I think this is the correct play. There is no Snakeskin Veil to counter this. Feign Death, they would have used already. They did pass priority to me, as far as I understand. As far as I understand, they are a pass priority to me. If I am incorrect, that sucks to be me. Alright. So they go to kill my Yuan-Ti Fameblade. Alright. So I messed up priority. I was supposed to... Oh well. Messed up priority. Just move forward in life. Alright. So both get sacrificed to Deadly Dispute all the same. And I do think we will be Deadly Disputing the Goblin, unless they have something else to target. But yeah, I used the Hear Something on Watch inappropriately. I'm like, they have a combat trick, and I just didn't see it. I should have just let that trade happen. Oh well. Oh well. That was my mistake. They now are card advantage. The Contact Other Plane sounds really good in my deck right now, and the Gloomstalker sounds really bad, so... Yeah. It would cost me 3 cards to turn that into a 4/5, so that's not happening. We are going to watch the Lurking Roper on their attack. And we're going to hope that's it for them. See the combat trick now. Bull Strength. That was the other combat trick I thought I would see. So they had both. Yeah, I think I just blocked with Sepulchral. I'm blocking with the Shambling Ghast. Looks the same amount of damage. Then the -1/-1 comes in, taking out the Lurking Roper. Alright. I have been playing my combat tricks poorly, but I've been managing, nonetheless. Alright. I think I want the trade. I'm playing the Thieves' Tools now, so I can equip it when the time comes, but... Whew. We are definitely running out of resources. Our 16-land deck drew 7 lands. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 playables. Okay, so our land to playables ratio is fine. They are stuck on lands, I just realized. They can't Grim Bounty my creatures. Definitely like Closer Gargoyle better than the alternative, but still don't like it too much. Do I keep swinging in? If I swing in, it becomes a race. I lose the race. Alright. Well in the block. And yes, it looks like the Contact Other Plane is better than both Gloomstalkers in this position. Like, if I draw a Gloomstalker, I'm sad. If I draw a Contact Other Plane, I'm happy. And I think I'm in this position often enough. Inspiring Bard. Put +1/+1 count. +2/+2 to a creature. Yep. Oh, now I see it. So now that's a big old creature that I can't stop. We go like this. Raven Feeblement. Alright, so that will allow us to kill the Inspiring Bard, but unfortunately the Null Hunter is going to attack, get a buff, and I can't kill that one. So, Ray is a really good card, but we are in just too bad of a position. If we keep drawing lands, we are just dead in the water. So here's the question. Do I Rave Enfeeblement to prevent the 6... Yeah, so we'll deal 6 damage, then 7, and I'm dead. So I'm actually going to Rave Enfeeblement the Null Hunter right now to prevent it from buffing up, to prevent from getting lethal. This saves me 1 turn. It doesn't kill anything, but saves me 1 turn. So that has to be good enough. 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So, 10 to 11 plays. 11 to 11 plays versus 6, 1, 2. Yep. Always the person with more plays does better. Oh well. That is unfortunate. That is great misfortune on my part. But yeah, I've finally accepted that Contact Other Plane is strictly better than Gloomstalker, given my the situations I end up in. I need card draw. I need to get through the lands. I have no... Like, I don't have late game. I have to be the aggressor. So, and when I fail to get through the aggression, I need to get cards. Do I put the Beholder in? I definitely have had mana to play it. I think the Enchantment Destruction will be good enough. I think the Feign Death is worse than the Ambush on the Road. Because the Ambush on the Road could actually kill their creature instead of just turn into a bad trade. With double Feign Blade, it actually allows me... I mean, it has the same effect, but also prevents them from Dragon's Firing and stuff like that. Well, actually, both... Oh well. Stops a Charmed Sleep. There we are. Stops a Charmed Sleep, stops Price of Loyalty. There we are. Okay. So we need to win the next 2 games. Like, it's not an option to lose the next 2 games. Not an option. Shambling Cast. Gosh. We are demanded to draw a land. If we don't draw the land, GG's. Do I keep? There are 14 lands left in the deck. We have the treasure tokens. If Shambling Gas dies, I could Skullport. I could use the treasure to Skullport, and I could use the treasure later to draw cards. It's a horrible backup strat. I know. But it's a backup strat. And that's more than I could say for others. So we need to draw a land this next turn. Like, we have 14 draws out of 32. So the odds are slightly against us. Alright. Bad. That's bad. That's very bad. Okay. Land was a turn behind, but we got to the Skullport Merchant. Alright, so they get to take my Contact Other Plane. But I have 2 of them. They might just take my Veteran Dungeoneer or my Zombie Ogre instead. Choose to leverage the health. Yep. Choose to take out that guy. Null Hunter. Alright, so they're getting ready for a big swing and churn. Alright, so they know Zombie Ogre's coming if I attack with my Sepulture Ghoul. But I think Zombie Ogre is the best way to stop their crackback, so I'm going to go for it. They thought through it. They saw the writing on the wall. Some people don't, so I thought I'd go for it. Alright, White's dealing damage. Outlanders gain Null Hunters getting killed, followed by Outlander. So we have a Here's Something on Watch. We have a Venture, a Sack. So I could sack the Shambling Ghast now to draw a card. And let's see. Alternatively, I could attack with Sepulture Ghoul. I think they just don't block again, but that's 2 damage. So I'm happy. Alright. I think it's actually worth the card draw because I also scry one afterwards. Alright. Another turn. Scry 1. Any enchantments? No. Alright, I have a, you see something on watch. You hear something on watch. I can use that treasure to contact other plane later. Alright, first step, let's see the combat tricks. Alright. So they use 1 there. Alright. So do I want to kill the Outlander or the Null Hunter? I think the Null Hunter needs to go before the Outlander. 100%. If they both strength, I'm just out of luck. Anything else they can do? I don't want to lose my Skullport Merchant. I'd rather not risk my Skullport Merchant. Alright, well they had basically triple Owlbear thanks to Feign Death. What kind of deck am I running? Unfortunately, a one that's not good enough. AFR is Adventures in Forgotten Realms. It's the format that we're playing in. Well, I don't see how I get out of this. Priest of Ancient Lore. So I'm taking 9 damage next turn, it's looking like. Faneblade does slow the bleed. They didn't have a combat trick. I think I go with Ancient Lore because it kind of stops here the same. Drawing cards is worth the while. Alright. That's my turn. Sucks, but that's my turn. Alright. Just the 5/5. Alright, that's actually good for me, I think. So I can block and block. They only kill 1. So I do lose the Zombie Ogre if I make that block, which is stopping their pressure, so I'm going to decline. Take some damage. Oof, we're in a bad spot, though. We are in a very bad spot thanks to these Owlbears. Owlbear is like one of the best comments in the entire format, and they had multiple of them. So, only so much you can do. I'd rather just leave up the sack outlet with Skullport Merchant than go for the Thieves' Tools. We have a Faneblade to kill that Owlbear now. They just have so much pressure now. They just have so much pressure now. Alright. Just you? Don't you dare have a second Feign Death. There we go. Alright, so we killed that Owlbear. One step in the right direction. And we are now 100% in the wrong direction, and this is bad. Thanks, lands. Still had too many lands despite everything. Alright, so they're out of cards. That is a positive on my side. I'm going to play this. I'm probably going to end up sacrificing the Thieves' Tools themselves. Otherwise, the treasure token will allow us to start contacting the other plane. Very bad spot. I'm just trying to figure out how I get out. And one is to... Alright. Let's see how we block. Alright. We're assuming they have 0 combat tricks, because otherwise we're just already dead. Alright, that blocks there. Lord blocks here. 1-4. Alright, this blocks here. 1-4 blocks 3-3. Wait, am I sacrificing something? I need to decide if I'm sacrificing something. Yeah. I'm sacrificing the Priest of Ancient Lore, I think. Actually, hold up. Then this wants to block here. This wants to block here. I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Alright. Wait. Oh, okay. I'm like, that was supposed to die too. Okay. Let's get a good roll. Roll some cards that can save me here. That's not a good roll. And those cards can't save me. Oh, it's specifically treasure. I thought it was artifact. Well. Is there a chance I win? No, he has lethal on board. He has lethal on board. Well, we lost already. What did I do wrong? I have to figure out what I did wrong so I can do better next time, basically. Oh, and they complete the dungeon, so that dies. Let's just see what was next in our deck. Should have drawn better, Kappa. Yep. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Versus 9 Engrave. So I feel like I definitely drew more lands than I wanted to, despite having 16 lands. But then again, I just have I have too low to the ground of a deck. So I'm not good with low to the ground decks, I know that, but like this was drastically too far low to the ground. Like, this tops off at 5 or 6. I didn't get Barrowin to trigger once. I didn't even get Barrowin once. Like, by the time I got Barrowin, it was lost. The Ambush on the Roads never came in handy. They never came in clutch. I never even got them, so I can't really judge those. Sepulture Goals were just 2 mana 2/1s. That was good enough, but... Oh, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 2-drops. How did I not see that? There's my problem. I'm playing an aggressive on-the-floor deck with 4 2-drops, with 4 early game, and one of them's not even that good. One of them's defensive. Yeah. Yeah, 3... Yeah, I basically played a on-the-ground aggressive deck with 3 2-drops, and then 3 other defensive cards. Like, no wonder I failed. No wonder that deck failed. It wasn't fast. I played for a fast deck, and it wasn't fast at all. So yeah, we lost out on quite a lot of gems because of that decision. Oh well. My mistake. My mistake. I now know. Pay attention to not just good 3-drops, pay attention to curve considerations, because I had like no 2-drops. Ugh. Alright. Well, we now know. We now know. Alright. We'll open the vault next time. We'll Mastery Tree next time. I think I'm good with what I need to do today. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Unfortunate that we did that poorly. It was my fault. I drafted poorly. I think I drafted poorly. I think I built the deck poorly. I didn't recognize the weakness of no 2-drops. There's just so many cards on 2. I'm like, oh, we're fine. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. My fault. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And with that, I'm going to raid someone. I think that's it for my stream. So we have Legend of Ligea with good old Beefin. So let's watch some of his I think it's, yeah, his old RPGs. He's been wanting to try to do some old RPGs over on Saturdays. So let's go join him in that. Sure it will be fun. Sure it will be fun. Whew. Everyone, thank you so much for watching once more. Have wonderful days, everyone. Glad to hear it. Glad to have it. Glad to have it. And Bat Kessler, as for short game, I meant like in a stream. So like less than 5 hours was the hope, but it's okay. I'm good now. And we're going to raid now.